Alrighty. Excuse me. All right, so let's go ahead and do some busy work here, get our ball rolling, and see if we could start off the day right. So, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopian News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report brought to you by SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company ever. Here we go. So another day, another opportunity for Darksydephil to victimize himself, basically within the same ecosystem that he himself has cultivated. It's just another day in life, but I'm feeling rather happy today, and hopefully everything's going well on your end. So that's a thing in itself. So what are we going to be speaking on? What is DSP crying about? What is DSP crying about? All right, Darksydephil is going to speak on how YouTube is hurting him again. Through the engagement. That's that whole situation with views and whatnot, and carryover goals, which actually that's the part that I'm a little bit more interested in, to be honest. But either which way, it'll be a good starting point for us either which way. So without further ado, let's go ahead into one of my favorite segments. Hopefully some of you guys' favorite segments as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my TED Talk. Let's talk about the crossover goals first. So DSP has actually, this was going to always happen. This was always going to be a thing, sooner than later. The moment Darksydephil, DSP, Phil Burnell, Dark Geppetto, as soon as he started counting not just what Kick was able to generate, but when he was starting to count super chats, memberships, gifted memberships, and tips all together. When DSP started doing all of that, that was literally the beginning of the end. That's when the dominoes were always going to fall financially. And it's because of that, and with the combination of the contributions from Kick, is why DSP has this inflated sense of security, falsely of course, but of security, that he's doing really well right now, no matter if he can get ad revenue or not. It doesn't really matter. He's bringing in enough money daily through all of these different avenues that he's going to be okay. If he can get himself a little bit of ad revenue, if he can get himself some super thankses later on his videos, that's all a bonus. But as long as he can, if he goes ahead and combines everything together and generates everything that way, he's going to be okay. Here's the problem. It goes back to a tale as old as time as it pertains to fucking Darksydephil. Put all of his eggs in the same goddamn nest. The shit starts to rot. He don't see it because he only cares about what's on the top layer, maybe even the second layer, and he's not worried about what's on the bottom. And then everything gets spoiled. You know what I'm saying? Eggs, apples, whatever your analogy of choice is. And that's what's going to happen. The moment one or two things start to bottom out, everything else will spoil and everything else will get fucked up. The moment, excuse me, the moment somebody or a group of somebodies figure out a way to play the system and troll him on certain contribution, with certain contribution methods, and then everything else will get infected too, and then he's gonna be fucked. And then that's when he thinks his big backup plan is, oh, then I'll sue you guys. That's why, you remember how earlier on in the year, excuse me, he was saying, oh, well, if detractors would just buy in, if they would just go ahead and contribute to the content, you know what I'm saying, everybody gets what they want. This is his way of trying to do that now. He thinks, but, you know, he tried to, quote unquote, ask. That didn't work. So now he thinks he's going to force it upon us. Combine everything together, right? And then see if you can get the detractor dollar to get back into the ecosystem. If that don't work, then threaten to sue. And now we've gotten to the point where the suing thing, no one's taking that shit seriously. That's a fucking joke and a meme. So now we have to go ahead and we have to do crossover. We have to take tip goals and carry over, or crossover, if you will, to basically keep those things alive. And soon it's going to get to the point where, even though you kind of see it now already, where people are going to have to start prepaying to do playthroughs. That's literally what's going to come down to. Hey, if you guys really want this commitment for me to play this game, you're going to have to pay me in advance. Think of it, actually, ladies and gentlemen, as pre-ordering.
you're going to have to pre-order that playthrough now. I need you guys to be able to put, you guys got to put up at least $450 to guarantee yourselves at least 3 guaranteed streams to see how things go. I guarantee you that's what we're going if we're not already there yet. You know what I'm saying? And if you think about it, DSP is already running the microtransaction business strategy already. So for us doing crossover events or carryover events for tips, eventually the pre-order shit, it's funny how what he condemns from these multi-million-dollar companies, he's literally doing himself. And he has no shame about doing it because he feels like he's in a position where he doesn't have a choice. When people who are making money want to continue to make money, right? So whether you dead broke like Phil is, or living basically hoof to mouth, or if you're a multi-millionaire that's fucking snorting the finest white china you can find off of fucking the secretary's ass, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Money's generated either which way. So anyway, he's been fighting against this for years. Actually, only earlier this year, to be honest, someone was saying that they wanted to, I can't remember what game he was playing, but they said, hey, could they donate like $100 to right now, so that carries over to the Lies of P playthrough. I'm pretty sure that's what the game was. And he said, no. He's like, if you're going to contribute right now, this goes to this goal right here. You know what I'm saying? We're still going to play Lies of P, but if you're going to contribute to me now, you can contribute to me now. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And whatever. This Gouty Peter Griffin voice. And now he's actually doing it. Because yet again, if DSP can convince you, or if you can convince him that you're willing to do a certain thing that keeps something that he's doing alive and keep going, then eventually he's going to fall for it. And that's what happened. That's where we're at right now. So I'm not surprised by this. I already see, I'm sure some of you as well, but I already see some of the pitfalls that are going to come from this. And when it hits, it's going to hit hard. You know what I'm saying? Now, yet again, if he was back on Twitch, give me a second. All right, we're back. If he was smart, he would just go back to Twitch. Because in Twitch's ecosystem, it would work a whole lot better and it would have a whole lot more benefits than what he's attempting to do now with YouTube and Kick. On YouTube and Twitch, he could get away with this. And it could probably be far more profitable. But on Kick, it's not so much. Because he multi-streams, he's not getting the full benefits of the weekly paycheck thing. On top of that, the Kino Casino are still racking him and whatnot. It is what it is. If he was smart, you know what I'm saying? You utilize your enemies on a whole nother platform, not on the same one that you're on. See, DSP is over there because of his ego. He don't want to give up because of his ego. And he thinks that 95-5 split is really a thing, and it's not. He's just going to pay more in taxes at the end of the year. Or he's going to defer it for the next 5 years, 7 years, whatever it is, until he ends up getting his ass caught up on that shit and gets back on payment plan. If he was on Twitch, it'd work out a lot better, to be honest with you. And that's just my own personal opinion on it. But, you know, it is what it is. We'll let him play his cards out. Let him choose his own adventure. And we'll see what's what. But let's go ahead and get into the hypocrisy, which is this new decision where we're allowed to carry over or cross over, excuse me, contributions from game to game, or tip goals, or stream goals, I should say, from, you know, stream to stream, just so we can keep what little money coming through. And we'll see what we make out of it and how he tries to spin it like this is a positive. So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and set up our situation. I guess you could say this is a chess move. Let's go ahead and do that. And let's see if we can find our video. Excuse me. Let's see if we can find our video. I think this is it here.
I think what we will do.
All right. I didn't speak on the YouTube part because YouTube's always doing something to hurt him. Wham, 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 wham. He'll get through it just like the rest of us. So it is what it is on that. Alrighty. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Raw Phil. Big ups to Raw Phil. And this was cut by me. Actually, now that I think about it, pretty sure it was. This is cut by me. Darksydephil speaks on YouTube hurting him again through engagement or lack of engagement, I should say, and crossover goals. This is from September 11th of 2025, year of the snake, the snakening. And without further ado, if he said anything about 9/11, like happy 9/11 or whatever dumb shit that he likes to say, I don't know if I have it. I would hope I don't, because that's a really dumb thing to
to say anyway, to be honest. So it is what it is on that. I don't smell no bacon cooking. And as we all know, that desperate aged bacon is usually the best bacon. So without further ado, here we go.
I think what we will do, we'll begin talking about like DSP tries and ideas soon. What I want to talk about right now is the thing going on YouTube. I briefly mentioned this the other day, and I just want to let you all know.
I think I've already did that video too that he's about to talk about. So it is what it is. So this is just a refresher for everybody else who may have missed it, or, you know, in Goutopia, shit comes at you quick. So it is what it is on that.
There's no cause for alarm or anything, but I just want to let everyone know what's going on, okay? So the other day I talked about this, that content creators across YouTube have been bringing up this weird topic, that they're noticing a distinct downturn in their viewership. It wasn't me saying this. It was...
He's been saying it. So let's be honest. He's been bitching and complaining about this shit for years. So it is what it is. I like now he wants to say, oh, it wasn't me that brought it up. I'm good. I'm okay now. It's everybody else that are now starting to become broke boys and shit like that, and they can't figure out what they're going to do or how they can continue to make a living. He's been crying about this shit since he started making money on YouTube. So it is what it is on that. But it's funny how he wants to exclude himself from it now.
All of YouTube. People who basically rely on views to be like their life's blood. And they had noticed that over the last week to 2 weeks, that all of their views have tanked. They're releasing their normal content. It's all in line with what people watch on their channels, yet it's saying that both overall viewership and engagement is way down on all of their content. We're talking people are saying their views are down like 50%, okay, which is pretty insane to think, a 50% dip in views. What the hell happened?
Yeah, again, this is literally something he's complained about. Shit, he did this, he complained about that shit during Apocalypse. The first one, he bitched and complained about that. The shit that ended up leading him getting kicked off from Machinima. Good times, good times.
Right? So,
Hope sip. I'm telling you, it's liquor. It's liquor. Who drinks water and is like, nah, bro. Nah, bro. Get yourself a twist of lime, bro, and cut the bullshit. You're a chronic alcoholic. You're a chronic alcoholic.
Everyone's speculating what...
Unless he's pouring his drink of choice out of that, like, I want to say it's like that Walmart flavored sparkling water, which is nothing wrong with it. It's pretty good. Get at Sam's too. Unless he's doing that and whatnot, if he's pouring it out of that thermos or whatever, it's liquor. I guarantee you it's liquor. It's fucking, it's Tanqueray mixed with like Sprite or something and shit, you know? And he may very well be, because I just kind of started peeping game on this. There are people who will flatten their Sprite on purpose. You know what flattening is, when you open it up so you let the carbonation fizzle itself out, so you don't have to worry about that. And then they'll mix their Tanqueray or their gin of choice in like that. I feel like that actually takes away from the flavor, to be honest, or if forces all the sugar it might actually force the sugar to just hit the bottom. But people swear by it, so I don't know. Maybe I'll try it one day and see if it actually is worth it. I'm not going to give up a whole 2 liter to it. I'll just pour it in a glass or something and let it sit in the refrigerator unopened, and we'll see what's what. But that might be a thing. And when you pour out flat soda like that, it could very well look like water. So if you're mixing Tanqueray with it, or whatever your gin of choice, who would know? Who would know the difference? Who would know the better? So that's just my thoughts.
It could be. One piece of speculation is that there is what's called a restricted mode on YouTube, where if you put your channel into restricted mode, it will like hide 90% of the content on YouTube, thinking that it's all like, oh, it's adult content. It's not anything you want to watch. So for example, we tested it with my channel. If you put my channel on restricted mode, the only videos you'll see is the daily rap. You will never...
And think about that. No, don't be wrong. I'm toxic myself. So if you put your channel in restricted mode, I'm pretty sure that the majority of my shit's gone too. So it is what it is. But that's just purely because of the language I use and how aggressive I am. But for him, if you... what do you think about this? This guy's supposed to be a lifelong gamer, right? That's what he produces, gaming content, positive gaming content. And the only thing that shows up, allegedly, according to him, if you put your channel into fucking restricted mode, and then you go to his channel to see what's what, the only thing that's there is the daily rap, that's fucking wild. Imagine that. Over a decade of quote-unquote gaming content, aka gaming slop, aka gaming non-content or non-tent, is gone. And it's just him bitching on the daily rap. Or giving himself a pat on the back because they hit the goal that day or whatever. That's the only thing that allegedly exists, according to what he sees. That's insane. That completely and utterly validates everything that people have ever said about him in his content. That it's trash, it's garbage. It validates what people like myself have said, that it's because of his language that got his ass kicked off of fucking Twitch. I mean, don't be wrong. They said, what, hurtful language, hurtful slurs, whatever. A slur doesn't have to be racial. A slur can literally be anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's what ended up, one of the reasons why he got his ass booted. You're seeing that on fucking YouTube, bro. If YouTube has certain type of filters that they want to phase out certain types of language, which is probably one of the reasons why they restricted, or they walked back, I should say, the whole thing about how much cursing you can do in the beginning of a video and so on and so forth. If they walk that back because, oh, well, we'll just go ahead and have the AI just, you know, cut most of those people or send them to the shadow realm later on anyway, then it makes sense. If that's the case, all these people, all these detractors, trolls, haters, and critics that he says should be removed off of YouTube, if they get rid of me, for example, they definitely getting rid of him. You know what I'm saying? If YouTube comes for me, then it is what it is. But then they will come for you. They will come for Wings. They will come for Low Tier God. They will come for all the lol cows after the fact. You know what I'm saying? That's it. It's the law of nature. It is what it is. Because truth be told, DSP can't really survive without his detractors, trolls, haters, or critics. So go ahead and think you can cut the head off or cut that part of the body off, whichever body of a limb of choice, and see how well he can survive without it. You already see how DSP is without friends. You can already see what DSP is like without associates. You can already see what he's like when he's left to essentially to his own devices. He's mentally already fucked up and getting worse by the day. He loses all his detractors, trolls, haters, and critics. Maybe the most reliable and consistent thing in his life. Then what happens to him? And now YouTube's already making taking the stance that, hey, we think your content is harmful and toxic. So if we put restricted mode on, the majority of your channel's gone. I mean, what more proof do you need?
See a gameplay video, you'll never see a podcast. You'll only see the daily rap. That's it. You'll think the only content I put out is the daily rap, which would make no sense because what are you wrapping up if all you're doing is the daily rap, right? So,
that's making the assumption that the daily rap has really anything to do with the channel as a whole. Just imagine you doing a recap every day about something that happens on your own channel. Wait. Never mind. That's funny. I never really thought about it that way. I never really thought about the daily wipe is nothing more than a glorified fucking prep. It's nothing more than a glorified prep therapy session of that day's events leading into the next day. That's disgusting. Imagine you doing a recap of the content that you put out that very day. That's fucking wild. That's probably why I barely watch it. Okay, so that's fucking hilarious. Damn, that's crazy. Just imagine what kind of useless individual you must be that you have to literally put out a video that recaps what your channel did that day. That shit could have, what's that show that he used to have? He used to do it on the weekends back in the day, and he would just do it for the whole week. I want to say it was the weekend preview. He shouldn't have stopped doing that. But instead, he just found another thing that he could put on the channel and throw ads on, I guess. I assume that's what the situation was with that. Wow, that's crazy. I never really thought about that. That's funny. That's kind of sad too, actually. That's kind of funny. All right, and we back. So something daily wipe. Something is sad. Something. Ha 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 ha. Okay, and we move on. Sorry, I've been gone for like 20 minutes. Let's go and pick up where we left off.
that was speculation number one. Do I actually believe that? No, I don't think that
All right, let's actually let me just reel this back. Let's see what we have. Oh, we don't have to go back that far. Let's see what we got here.
What the hell happened, right?
Hope sip.
So everyone's speculating what it could be. One piece of speculation is that there is what's called a restricted mode on YouTube, where if you put your channel into restricted mode, it will like hide 90% of the content on YouTube, thinking that it's all like, oh, it's adult content. It's not anything you want to watch. So for example, we tested it with my channel. If you put my channel on restricted mode, the only videos you'll see is the daily wrap. You'll never see a gameplay video. You'll never see a podcast. You'll only see the daily wrap.
That should be something eye-opening for him, but it won't because he's stupid. But that's pretty that's pretty funny actually. But if he was smart, he would really think about that. Keep in mind, he hides behind the concept of gaming, believing that it makes him and his content accessible and digestible, to be honest, not offensive, right? But if the AI, not to say that the AI is right, because it's more than likely not, at least not all the time, but if the AI or the system itself has clarified and categorized and verified, which makes it certified to some degree, that hey, your content's not, it shouldn't be shown to children and whatnot, which is exactly what he tries to predicate, which is exactly what he tries to present himself to. Fuck all that. That's what he does. He's trying to prey upon kids. That's the reason why he does gaming content. He's trying to prey upon children. That's what he's always done. That's what he's always going to do. And I mean that in the context that I said it. Now YouTube has been like, yeah, we're not doing that. You don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, but not sorry. What does that say about your content, idiot? Like, legitimately, what the fuck does that say about your content if it's that bad? And literally, your content is meant to target children. Well, and the mentally and physically disabled. That's wild. That's wild. If you think about it that way. Crazy shit.
That's it. You'll think the only content I put out is the daily wrap, which would make no sense because what are you wrapping up if all you're doing is the daily wrap? Right?
Oh, and that's when I end up coming to it then. Makes has a fucking basically a recap about shit that goes on his own channel daily. That's I don't know why I've just now kind of let that come sink in. I have no clue why. It's just why I've actually cared enough to do it now. Maybe because he's had to say it, but that's sad. That's really, really sad. I'm sure past me may have pointed that out too, but fuck it, hey, hearing it now in this context is just really sad.
Right. So, that was speculation number one. Do I actually believe that? No, I don't think that's really what's going on. Here's what I think is happening. And of course, this is based purely on my experience being a YouTuber for 17 years.
So it's okay to discount what other people's theory is, but because you've been around for 17 years, which really doesn't mean a damn either which way, you have some type of validity to what you're saying. Oh, speaking of which, when his mouth is like that, if you guys can see the screenshot of it currently, he kind of reminds, what's that shit called? Is it called the Humsberg mouth or whatever? You know, that aristocratic royal family that they had, that they were all inbred and shit, and they all had that like weird deformed chin or whatnot. It's kind of what that shit reminds me of when he does that shit. It's really, really weird. I don't know why it directly, like, it makes me refer back to that in particular, but very strange. And it's starting to become more and more pronounced too. I mean, don't be wrong, he has the lopsided, droopy type bullshit. I like to call him Gout face, or Gouty Two-Face, if you will. But that right there, for some reason, is starting to become more pronounced to me too. I have no clue why. Very strange, but I can't unsee it. Just like I can't unsee the big ups to Silent Weapon, the fucking Ultimate Warrior shit with the fucking snort sacks. I can't unsee that. I can't unsee that either. Holy fuck! If he had glasses though, maybe it would obstruct it, or it would hide it.
Okay, I think YouTube changed the algorithm again. I think that YouTube has, number one, changed the way that videos are showing up in related and things like that. And number two, I think that YouTube has changed the way that views are recorded. I also think that YouTube has once again decided not to disclose this to anyone in the public. So
it wouldn't be in their interest to do so, because then if everybody knew how YouTube would work, then no one has an advantage or disadvantage, but there's just not enough to go around for that to be made available. Like, it's done that way for a reason.
If everybody knew the trick, then it wouldn't be a trick. Just pure and simple.
Overnight, you're a creator, you're making content, your viewers are engaged with it and like it and watching it, but for some reason, it's claiming that your views are down, right? Does it make any sense? No. But this has happened before. I talked about this a few days ago, that years and years ago, when I was a prominent gamer on YouTube, I had videos that historically would always be recommended videos if you were looking for a certain subject matter. If you were looking for Spider-Man or Spider-Man Web of Shadows or
I love how the fact that as YouTube has grown, he never grew with it. So when, let's say, for example, there was 250,000 viewers or users of YouTube back in that day. I don't even think it was that high, but maybe it was, let's just say, and whatnot. He believes that the system should work the exact same way if there is 20 million people fucking on the site. Like, that's just not reasonable nor practical. You know what I mean? There's a reason why he was in customer service for as long as he was. Not to say there's anything wrong with customer service, but it's very clear that that shit was starting to turn into like just a show-up job. You know what I'm saying? Like what the mob does. You just clock in, you show up, clock in, and you bounce. And you just collect a check at the end of the week or every 2 weeks or whatever the case may be. That's basically what it was. Until people got really annoyed, his father couldn't fucking cover for him, and they had to let his ass go. Because if this is how he was thinking now, just imagine how he was thinking 20 plus years ago.
Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions or just Spider-Man video game, my playthroughs would pop up. Videos that had millions upon millions of views would be high up in the rankings on YouTube. And then one day YouTube flipped the switch, said, we don't want any legacy content like that to get views anymore. We only want new content to be pushed through the algorithm, not old content. And overnight, all of my...
I don't even think that was the case. The video fell out of relevancy. That's what it was. Keep in mind, there was a lot of different Spider-Man content that's came out over those years. You know what I mean? In between when he posted it and now. So the fact that he thinks he should just have seniority over it is fucking ridiculous. You think every PewDiePie video of Outlast shows up the moment you type in Outlast? No, motherfucker. And then because the system is somewhat tailored to the individual, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody's sheeple, and they don't fucking market the content as such. I mean, you know how like when you're not logged in, for example, you see like Sniper Wolf who will pop up in your shit, but if you log in, you don't? Like, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck? It's like that. I've never watched a Sniper. I haven't seen anything from Sniper Wolf since that beef she had with that one dude in the last couple years where she actually drove by his house and docked his fucking house, which is crazy. But even before that, I didn't watch any of her bullshit since... Fuck. Let me go in my bag for a minute. The last time I cared about anything that Sniper Wolf had to say or she was doing was when she was beefing with fucking, what's her name? Is it... I can't think of what her real name is right now. I think it starts with an A. But, fucking, GGG, Girl Gone Gamer. And that's back during the Black Ops 2 days and shit, when both of them were frauds, basically. I haven't paid any attention to fucking SS Sniper Wolf since then. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you. So, you know, and for those of you who really know your Call of Duty lore, you know what I'm talking about. But other than that, I haven't paid any attention since then. And truth be told, if you guys know that story, interestingly enough, SS Sniper Wolf was trying to set her ass up. She tried to play it off like, oh, girl gamers need to stick together and all that bullshit. Kind of like what Pokimane tries to do with female streamers, where they, you know, we're all females, we all need to stick together, and realistically, she's just trying to expose them so she can elevate herself. SS Sniper Wolf tried to do the same thing to Girl Gone Gamer, which was funny, to be honest with you, but it was kind of useless because everybody knew Girl Gone Gamer, she wasn't really a gamer, you know what I'm saying? She had some skits that hit right, and people were able to latch onto it. But realistically, there was no way she was playing Call of Duty at that level. Not because she was a woman, it was just clearly she wasn't able to play at that level. So, you know what I'm saying? And then it gets exposed all them years later that SS Sniper Wolf wasn't doing it either. It was fucking her boyfriend, what's that guy's name? Meatloaf or Meatlog or Sausage Log or whatever the fuck his name is. He was the one that was playing for her. So, you know what I'm saying? Because once people tracked down all of his like Call of Duty accomplishments and shit, it was clear who it was. So anyway, there's more to it than that. But same concept. You know what I'm saying? Same concept. You don't get seniority like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't just, it doesn't work that way. Nothing in life like that works that way, to be honest.
Not to that degree, anyway.
Videos removed or were removed from YouTube search. I actually tested this the other day live on the channel when I...
And truth be told, when he had deleted all those fucking pre-streams and shit, that's probably one of the major things that was fucking him over. But his channel was in decline as early as 2014 anyway. So it really don't matter. Yeah, you had yourself a run with that particular video for a couple years. There's no way that anybody would think that would last forever. You know, no one reasonable, I should say.
Typed in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. If you just type that in, my videos don't show up, but I have the #2 most viewed video of the game on all of YouTube. Over 3 million views.
Okay, so you're 2 steps up from your usual place at 4th. Congratulations, I guess. God damn, look at that snort sack. Look at how pronounced that shit is. That shit always freaks me the fuck out. It's funny though.
But it doesn't show up in search. But videos of people who only have like 100,000 views show up in search. So YouTube changes the algorithm all the time. They never publicly disclose when they do. They do it for their own purposes. You know, you have to understand that over...
Even if they did disclose, hey, we're changing our algorithm, what are you going to do about it? That information is useless to you unless they tell you how that they change it and how you could benefit from it. And no business is going to do that. So them changing their algorithm doesn't mean shit if there's not an explanation behind it. If there's not further details behind that shit. So yet again, you're crying for nothing. You're literally crying about nothing.
The years, YouTube as a business has pivoted many different directions. At one point, are you aware of this? YouTube wanted to actually be like an alternative to real television. And all of the metrics that they actually used to grade quality, to grade if your channel was healthy.
You know, if you didn't buy cheap-ass shirts like that, Phil, you wouldn't have to fiddle with the collar like that. You realize that, right? If you didn't sit there and buy shirts that clearly don't fit you, you may not have that issue or that problem. Just saying. It's a thing, but whatever.
Were based on viewership metrics as if you were a TV station, which makes absolutely no sense.
But it did make sense to you to put 60 10-minute videos up online? And most of you are going to say, well, wait a second, that was the infrastructure. That's the only thing he could do. But even after that was done away with, he still did it. And he still thought it was a good idea. There's nothing prominent about DSP and shit. He spammed the system and he did it from the get-go. That's all it was. You know what I'm saying? He's not paramount in anything and shit. He's not a pillar when it comes to fucking gaming content on YouTube, let alone gaming. He's just a fucking bum who's fucking swamped the system with slop. And he did it for years. And slowly but surely, he phased himself out. But he's too stupid to come to that realization because he needs someone to sit there and actually explain to him how that happened. Even though it's far too late to do anything about it anyway. It doesn't matter.
You're not a TV station. You're not putting out videos at the same quality, at the same frequency, at the same budgeting as a TV station. So why is YouTube using criteria as if you're a broadcast network to judge if your channel's any good? Because they don't know what they're doing.
Oh boy.
I'm going to repeat something that I've said.
Now keep in mind, it's coming from the same guy who was going at it guerrilla style and shit with a camcorder for fucking years upon years. And when people said, hey, I kind of don't really want to watch your content anymore because the quality's bad. Well, the quality's not bad. This is all I can do. He could have gone direct capture. It was available. John and Howard were already knee deep in it at that time. But he didn't want to do it until views really started to teeter out. And then all of a sudden he begrudgingly forced John and Howard to help him get that shit together. And then it still didn't work because he ain't sat there and shitted on the majority of people who criticized him or who tried to encourage him. Keep in mind, encouragement and criticism to some people, most people can't tell the difference. So it is what it is on that. But most people who tried to encourage him or criticize him, those people left and they didn't have a reason to come back. So even if the quote-unquote quality went up, him as a person is still a piece of shit. There's nothing changing that.
Over the years, all right, and this is my firm opinion, and I doubt it's ever going to change. The people who work at YouTube are Ivy League trained, silver spoon in the mouth, really leftist, and basically
Okay, let me be very clear about this. I'm really tired of this whole fucking people trying to throw politics into dumb shit like this. Like, this has nothing to do with politics. It legitimately don't, to be honest with you. And it's funny how he only cries about the Ivy League school bullshit because he wasn't smart enough to get in. Of course, he's not going to admit that to you. He's going to say the reason why he couldn't get into an Ivy League school is because he wasn't rich and he was white, which is interesting because there's a lot of people who that come from, I guess you could say, low income families who make it into Ivy League schools and shit. And it's kind of always been that way. It's a very small majority and whatnot, let's be honest with ourselves. But it does happen. Womp womp. Anywho, with that being said, so it's funny how, you know, the things that exclude him or things that he couldn't participate in, he's so quick to shit on. But doesn't really give a lot of validity to his argument. But whatever, let him choose his own adventure.
Don't know what real life is all about.
Oh boy.
Okay? They have these weird criteria that they use to judge what's good and what's bad. They're not like you and me. They grew up in...
Well, then there's nobody like you. Let's I mean, there are people who have similar I mean, I guess as it pertains to lolcows, there are people like DSP. Not, but even then, he's unique even in that factor, to be honest with you. But no normal person's like Darksydephil. There's no way you can call yourself normal and act the way this guy acts.
a whole different world than us. Okay? Quite.
Now, keep in mind, this is someone who defends pedophiles. He's a pathological liar and shit, chronic alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? On top of the chronic spending addictions and gambling addictions and all that. Does that sound normal to you? Does it sound normal to you to sit there and lie to someone for 5.5 fucking hours and then justify it later? Does that sound like something normal people do? Sitting there saying an answer is an answer. It doesn't matter if it's honest or not. I answered your question at that moment in time. I could have lied at you the whole fucking time if I needed to. So what? An answer's still an answer. Does that sound normal? Normal people don't talk like that. Normal people don't think like that. And you can't even say, oh, that's how that's how people ration shit out. That's not rationing. Not at all. That's just being a fucking weirdo.
Frankly, they've always been pampered. They're basically immune to any kinds of criticism. And therefore, they run their whole business like that. They think they're better than you and me. They think that they're very much smarter than you and me, despite the fact that we're the people who use
gaslighting the shit out of this. Keep in mind, those people didn't hinge their entire fucking livelihood in existence to a fucking platform that could literally be taken down tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll even go further than that. A platform that could literally purge you. That's a great screenshot, by the way. Or a platform that could literally purge you on a drop of a hat. There's nothing smart about doing that, to be honest. There's nothing smart about doing that.
YouTube every day.
But he got the nerve to call other people. That's another great screenshot too. But he has the nerve to call other people stupid. Holy shit. That's a that's a great screenshot. Oh my god, dude, look at that fucking maniac.
And we understand the ins and outs of how it works. We know what people want to see. They think they know.
Yes, he knows what people wants to see, but then he has to beg for money day in, day out, while also demanding those same people to be like, hey, what are you guys willing to pay for? Not even about what these people want to see anymore. We're past that. What are you people willing to pay for? That's where we're at now. But DSP thinks he knows what the platform needs. Sure. Gotcha. Trying to put that ACE certification to use, I guess.
Better. So they will literally just change the algorithm. It will completely change the way that the site works from the ground up. They won't even tell anyone they did it and be like, oh, well, we know what we're doing. Doesn't matter what you say. And there's been tons of times over the years.
It's their platform. On top of that, he tried to do this shit to the Cannon brothers over SRK and Evo. Remember? For some of you who remember, during the many rants about fucking the FGC, he literally used the same argument to bitch and complain about the Cannons. Oh, what gives them the right to decide what can be on fucking SRK and what can't? Who gives them the right to dictate how Evo works? Because it's their shit. They created it. They created SRK. It's their website. They own it. They created Evo. It's their tournament. They run it. They pay the other people. Well, they did. They paid people to the people who participated in shit. They run it. They own it. They organize it. The fucking some mentally ill man out of fucking rinky-dink fucking Connecticut thought that he had that he should have rights, or no, he said that other people should be able to dictate what goes on in Evo and on SRK. They didn't put in on that, and more importantly, no one else was willing to say that because it sounds stupid. If that's the case, start your own shit. Like, no one's gonna step out of pocket and say some retarded shit like that because it literally is retarded. You don't say dumb shit like that.
When YouTube creators have gone to YouTube and said, you changed something and broke the site, please believe us. And YouTube will be like, no, there's no evidence of that. That's not true. So then they'll present evidence. Well, what about this? Well, what about this? Oh, no, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not evidence of anything. And just what you're saying isn't true. Okay? So I feel like the whole views debacle going on YouTube right now is just another case of this, because this has happened, probably no exaggeration, 20 to 30 times over the years, where YouTube just said, we're just going to change something. But wait, we like that thing. Why are you taking it away? Or we used it. It was really useful. Why is it going away?
Oh, fuck. Oh, is that on the videos? Actually, hold on a second. No, I'm curious. Well, I didn't want to go back that far, but we'll go with it.
Hey, please believe us. And YouTube will be like, no.
That's weird for a pathological liar to sit there and say that. Please believe us. That's really strange hearing that come out of him.
There's no evidence of that. That's not true. So then they'll present evidence. Well, what about this? Well, what about this? Oh, no, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not evidence of anything. And just what you're saying isn't true. Okay? So I feel like the whole views debacle going on YouTube right now is just another case of this, because this has happened, probably no exaggeration, 20 to 30 times over the years, where YouTube just said, we're just going to change something. But wait, we like that thing. Why are you taking it away? Or we used it. It was really useful.
So it is on the videos.
Why is it going away? Or wait.
Why didn't I cut that? Interesting. All right, well, that's on me. I'll fault people, but that's on me.
You're adding a feature now, but we don't want that feature. We don't actually think that's good or will benefit us. It's actually detrimental. They don't care. They'll do whatever they want. So in this case, I really do feel like views aren't counting the same way. Okay? How can I tell?
We already know that. I don't know why he's even saying this, because by the time, what's this, September 11th? By then, people had already figured out that it has something to do with ad block and whatnot. And that in any video, in any view that uses ad block won't be counted, or at least won't be counted visually. You're regurgitating something that's was already well established at that time, for the most part. For those who cared, I should say.
Well,
he literally is just regurgitating what he saw on Twitter.
Just take a look at my videos for the last couple of weeks.
Or X.
Okay? Notably, taking a look at some of the playthroughs that I'm putting out right now. Okay? Suicode N2. Typically, wouldn't get many views within the first 24 hours, but within a few days, each video would get around 200 to 300 views. And it's been like that for the whole playthrough.
Whoa, has it really gotten that bad that you're only able to scrounge together 200 or 300 views over the span of fucking 4 or 5 days? Or 3 or 4 days, whatever? God damn. I thought he was going to say like a couple of thousand, but I guess I gave you too much credit. I'm accused of doing that, so I guess that's the thing.
Several weeks, okay? What about a hot new game like Silksong? Well, the first few parts did really well. But how is Silksong performing now? Are you aware? According to YouTube, no one's watching Silksong.
You mean no one's watching your version of it? Or your rendition of it? Okay, sucks to suck.
I want you to think about that. This is a playthrough that when I started it on Thursday, everyone was shocked that I was playing it. Everyone ran and watched part 1. Then I did a night stream of it the other night. The views on there are quite good. Yesterday, I did my first ever major...
It's funny how he won't throw no numbers at us, though. He didn't mind saying 200 or 300 over days, but when things are really good, he won't say numbers because he knows he's going to get mocked for it. That's hilarious. That's wild that he's that mindful of the criticism that's going to come his way. Jesus Christ.
Stream of it, people showed up, engaged, and supported. It was a great stream. YouTube says, oh, no one's interested. But it's literally the most engaged and supported stream I've done in weeks.
If that's the case, then why didn't you actually keep the stream up then? Think about that. If that stream was so well, or went so well, I should say, why didn't he keep it up? Why did he take that down and then try to chop it up and think that he was going to mimic the same results? It sounds almost like it was a him problem. That's kind of what it sounds like. That sounds like that was a user end problem or error.
People loved the stream and supported it. Oh, no one wants to watch that. The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of right, because if they already saw the stream, at least in his case anyway, there may not be a need to go back and watch it. You know what I'm saying? There may not have been a need to go back and watch the fucking on-demand shit. Sounds like he cut his own throat, if you ask me.
Yeah, according to YouTube, the Silk...
Especially since... And here's the thing, though, too, and I'm not sure if this has been pointed out yet, but his unrealistic expectations on why his views are so bad, especially over the last few years, is the fact that he's on YouTube. You're streaming on YouTube, and then you're putting the video out. Then you're taking down that stream later, cutting up the video, and then republishing it on YouTube. If he was on Twitch, it'd be different, I think. Or if he was completely committed to Kick, I think it'd be different. But you can't sit there and fucking... I'm going to say it. You can't sit there and rape the same fucking... let's say that. Financially rape the same site over and over again. It just doesn't work that way. Like, you really just can't do that. Especially putting out the slop that he puts out. That's just not something that is expected to happen. Oh, well, okay. I just thought I'd point it out.
Song videos are doing absolutely terrible in viewership. No one is checking them out. Sorry, I have to be a little skeptical on that. Okay?
Hope sip.
Same thing.
And here's the thing, though, too. That only further inclines, and proves to me, at the very least, how much of a pathological liar that he is. Because the average person doesn't question every little thing that goes on, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the whole world is not out to get you. You know what I mean? But if you get up every day with the mindset of, how can I fuck people over? How can I lie to people? How can I, you know, pull a fast one by people to get my own way? It might explain why you don't trust anything or anybody. Something to think about.
With the Chronos playthrough, where when I started it on Friday, it was a little bit slow to hit the ground, to be honest, but it was still decent viewership, okay? And then the second session did pretty good. And then all of a sudden, the videos that I did the other day, oh, no one's watching them. Everyone was interested at the beginning. Now, all of a sudden, in the middle, when the game's getting harder and I'm dying more, no one wants to watch.
But, I mean, historically, it's always been like that with Darksydephil playthroughs, especially when he was just putting out videos on YouTube. Like, the first five episodes, if you want to call them episodes, but the first 5 videos would do, I guess, well. You know what I'm saying? Back then, of course, he was able to pull, like, 20, 30, 40,000 views and shit. You get into the middle, it was the slop that it, you know, it was the slop that it always was. And then the last, you know, couple of pieces towards the end would do fairly well because it is the end of the game, and that was it. So historically, he's consistent. He's on pace. You know what I'm saying? He's got a lot of uptick at the very beginning of the game. Then in the middle and whatnot, it tanks royally. And then right before the end, you know what I'm saying, it may shoot back up a little bit, and that's it. Historically, that's how it's always been for him. For him. You know, other people can retain viewership throughout the playthrough, but DSP is a special boy, so that's not a thing that's in his wheelbox. Or wheelbarrow, I should say. So, I mean, I don't see where there's a discrepancy, to be honest with you. And that's the interesting part, too. Because for the people that are complaining about viewership and all this, that, and a third, right? They have a much easier sample size, I think, to measure because they haven't done it for as long, right? Whereas DSP, he's had so many fucking lows throughout his whole situation. Everything's just been a downward spiral. You really couldn't tell the difference. Like, to be honest with you, and I think, honestly, he can't really tell the difference. He's trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, but realistically, what he's getting is probably what he's been getting. It's no better, it's no worse. If he was honest, he'd be willing to admit it. But obviously, he's not honest.
I'm sorry, YouTube. I just don't think that I believe you. I just can't. I'm not stupid. All right?
You're definitely stupid, but yes, YouTube has a fucking history of lying to Darksydephil. Yeah, that's a thing. I'm sure. They have a history of being dishonest to him. Yeah, I'm sure that is a thing that they've done.
The truth is, for someone like me, it doesn't affect me. Why? the vast majority of income that I actually make is based on contributions during live streams. Okay. Subs on Kick.
If that's the case, then why can't the stream stay up then? I'm gonna keep harping on this because I think it's funny. And it is a legitimate question. Then why don't the streams just stay up? What's the point of you putting out edited content later? To be honest, you're literally wasting your time and you're making what, cents on them? You know what I'm saying? You're not making shit on that. And then because of restricted mode, you're making even less than that. Literally making pennies per hour. Seems like a waste of time if you ask me, but that's just me though. Do you?
Memberships, super chats, and super stickers or tips during live streams. That's the vast majority of my income. Now, I'm not saying that I make nothing on YouTube for your ad revenue and views. That would be ridiculous. There is an ongoing amount of income that I get from ad revenue and views.
Speaking of which, boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, before everybody went on vacation, I had one of the members here at GTG Network Productions like go back and do like a cursory glance over how much money Rich, Review Tech USA, that idiot, that other little cow, what he actually was losing when he sat there and tanked the channel, his main channel, like, and how much money was really on the table. And now, of course, it's just a cursory glance that this person did. They probably didn't put no more than like 30 minutes into it, which I wouldn't have asked him to put even that much in. Rich says it might have been like $600 a month. Closer assessments actually say it was probably closer to about $4,000. Anywhere from like $2,000 to $4,000 a month is probably what Rich was pulling in. Now remember, Rich is an idiot, and he only cares about each video that he puts out getting 100,000 views. He's not thinking about his library. He's not thinking about his actual catalog. For someone who says he's in the music business or he wants to be in the music business, you would think that would be something important to him, but semantics. Anyway, he wasn't taking account, he wasn't taking into account his catalog as his entire catalog, if you will, and all of the residual views that he brings in each and every month and whatnot. And especially like the DK oldie videos and stuff like that, amongst other things. He was probably actually leaving like $2,000 to $4,000 a month on the table, to be honest. Now, by now, I would assume, or certainly by the end of the year, that should hit him. He should start realizing that, you know what, these streams aren't slapping the way he thought they were going to. He's essentially lost all of his detractor support, if he ever really had it. I'm hearing rumblings that even amongst some detractors, that they really don't want to be seen over there. I guess it's good for them that they're starting to wake up on that. It's just not panning out. So that's a lot of money, to be honest with you. Even if it is only $2,000, if it's only $2,500 a month, that's a lot of money to fucking just let tank over because of dumb shit. Because you try to cheat the system or you try to play the system. And then there are rumblings that Rich might be trying to pull the same shenanigans on his his review, was it Rich Tomorrow channel, that maybe, just maybe, he's thinking about trying to bot some of that shit too. I don't know if that's true or not. Like, that's all just a rumor so far. But yeah, I think over the next few months, it's going to be interesting to see how Rich moves on that. I'll pick that back up, maybe back in November. In November, well, maybe even December, maybe. He might make it into the lineup, because I'm curious to see how his financial situation is going to play. Because it's been a decent amount of time where shit is starting to probably bottom out for him, and now he's going to have to make some real decisions. But we'll see. We'll see.
And if I take a look at my viewership, okay, it does say that for me, it's just like everyone else, because it's not just me, it's been across the board. YouTube is telling me that my views are down slightly. Okay, if I'm actually being honest here, taking a look month to month.
Slightly and 50%, I think, are two separate things, Phil. And you started this, you led with people saying that their viewership was down 50% at points. Now you're saying slightly. But like I said, if you're already going downhill, does it really matter the speed that you're falling when you've been going downhill for a very long time? So it is what it is.
Let me click on views here. Look at my analytics.
What a miserable little man.
Oh, what? Wow, gee, thanks for only showing me videos. Here it is. It is showing that there was a decline in viewership starting around 2 weeks ago. Now, it did spike a bit again since then. I don't know if that's because I started playing new games. Maybe that is what it is. Okay. But
you're contradicting yourself because you just said that the new games that you are playing aren't doing so well. And you're barely getting any viewership as it pertains to the videos themselves. And some of the streams are kind of light in the ass too. Maybe he just doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know.
it is showing a decline, like as if views did taper off and go like downward, but now they're going back up. It doesn't make any sense. Why would that be? There's no point. There's no reason.
Because you put out shitty content. I can say that because I put out shitty content. So it is what it is. You just got to be honest with yourself, Phil. You're not like other people. You're not like other content creators. So you can't sit there and demand to be held up to the same standards that they are. It's kind of ridiculous.
Literally, there's no reason why that would be. It just is according to YouTube. Okay? So, FYI.
And keep in mind, he's had people, Keto Casino tried to help him improve his content. Machinima, while he was on there, tried to give him pointers. When he was on fucking Curse, they tried to give him pointers. YouTube directly has tried to help him, and he basically sharked all that bullshit. Amazing. Just amazing.
Don't be worried. All right? It's not the end of the world at all.
I mean, until we go hashtag save the house 2.0, electrical boogaloo. Well, I'm waiting for that to happen. That'll probably happen in 2026. Maybe 2027. He'll probably do it right before he comes up on the 7 years of after the 7 years of the bankruptcy shit. Like right when he comes off of that off of those terms and shit where he can actually get credit again. I feel like there'll be one big push for him to try to get a lot of money really, really fast for whatever emergency. And then all of a sudden he can apply for credit again. But that won't even matter because by then his income would have dipped so hard. It'll be nothing like when he applied for credit cards, years ago. So womp womp to that.
As long as you guys keep showing up, engaging, and supporting the content during the live streams. And if we do have people who come back and do occasionally contribute who watch on demand, because they do.
That won't happen because he had already shunned those people back in the day when he was on Twitch where he said YouTube needs to step up. You guys might not remember this. This has happened like 3 times. Maybe 4 actually. It might have happened 4 times when he was back on when he was on Twitch, where he said, the Twitch streams are good, the contributions are good, the attendance are good. You guys on YouTube are taking me for granted. You guys need to step the fuck up. I'm paraphrasing at this point, but you guys need to step the fuck up, and you guys need to, you guys need to watch the content. If not, I don't see a point in putting it over there, because over here on Twitch they're treating me right, and you guys aren't. So I feel like, and I'm going out of my way. That's legacy content. That's what did he call that shit? He called that fan service. There we go. This is I'm doing this as fan service to y'all. You know what I'm saying? If you can't show up to the streams, okay, fair enough, but you need to make it worth my while, essentially, to put this stuff on YouTube. Even though he didn't want to leave the archives of the stream up on Twitch, because people would watch that shit and get exactly what was going on, because he was hiding shit even back then. So even when, right now to some of you, him editing stuff out and whatnot may seem like a somewhat new phenomena, or at least over the few years. And I've taken the time to kind of go back there and look at this. You go back and look, and he was sitting there tampering with shit or trying to get rid of shit way back in back in the 2018s, 2019s when he was on Twitch. He was tampering with some of that footage too. So, Agent Proper, James the Lesser, Tevin, SnortBucks, I'm sure they'll back me up on some of that. So that's a thing as well. It's just more blatant, I think is probably the word for it. It's a lot more blatant now. Or it's a lot more obvious, I should say now. And whatnot. But back then, you'd have to have a keen eye for that shit. So that's nothing new. Anyway, but yeah, he's already kind of done this spiel where you guys on demand need to step up to make it worth his while. So womp womp to that.
Every once in a while, we'll have someone come by and they're like, hey, so, I'm watching your playthrough on demand. I can't make every stream, but here's a contribution. As long as we have that going on, I'm okay.
Is the ad revenue not good enough? Oh, it's not, because his ad revenue is shit. And because
the majority of his channels basically already been restricted, right? He's probably making next to nothing in ad revenue, I have to guess. I'm surprised that he doesn't get more community strikes, to be honest with you. Not copyright strikes, but community strikes. I'm really surprised that's not something he deals with.
All right.
Or maybe he does, and it's just because you put a community strike in on someone doesn't mean it'll go through. So there's that too.
My channel's lasted long enough. I have enough of a body of content. My streams are regular enough that I'm good. But you know who this will affect? Other creators who rely on video views on their videos that they put out very infrequently. So example, maybe a YouTuber who's like a video essayist, right? Who puts out a video maybe once a month, once every 2 weeks about a certain topic. They're going to be affected in a really bad way, to be honest. Maybe someone who's like a reviewer.
What is that you take? Why do you keep taking shots at June? He didn't do shit to you. That's kind of who's taking a shot at. He's taking a shot at June. Because that's the only video essayist that he knows, maybe except for Turkey Tom. And even then, Turkey ain't sat there and dumbed himself down and shit because he's trying to, you know what, I'll say that. That's a whole nother that's a whole nother bit that's going on over there amongst the commentator community, sitting there fucking going at each other's throats for no damn reason, to be honest. I'm not saying that Willie Mack, not to say that the Turkey Tom thing has anything to do with Willie, but I'm not saying that Willie Mack is completely right, but he's not completely wrong either. He's really not. So fucking the fact that Augie's going at him the way he's going makes me think that Augie's been wanting to go at him for a bit anyway, which is kind of strange because Augie can't win that fight, but semantics.
Who only does like big in-depth reviews of a movie or a game or a series, they're going to be affected because they're mostly basing their income and revenue on viewership and ad revenue and or supplemental income. Here's the thing. A lot of those kind of YouTubers get sponsorships, right? They'll be plugging a food delivery service or Dollar Shave Club or whatever the you know.
You know you can have a referral code with DoorDash and Grubhub and all that shit too, right, Phil? You know that's a thing you can do. I mean, you used to have an Amazon a referral code, so maybe you should think about reaching out and doing it. You spend enough money on that shit yourself, so you might as well promote it.
The thing of this week is currently that's the big one, right? The thing is, if their views dip, what if they're losing 10%, 20%, 30%, 50% of their viewership? That's a bad thing because now
good thing they have supplemental income. Did you not say that, or do you just not know what supplemental means? Just throwing it out there.
Now those sponsors will look at them.
Speaking of which, if you guys are following the Melee nonsense that's going on over there, whatever that dude's name is, Shab, it's Shab. The dude is number 2 player in the world right now, or whatever. He Technicals did a further video on him, and I had no clue this dude was literally begging people to not Technicals, but this Melee player was begging people to fucking sign up for HelloFresh. I think it wasn't Blue Apron. I think it was HelloFresh, but he was begging people to fucking sign up to HelloFresh so they could use his referral code so he gets himself a kickback. That's what crazy to me. It's crazy to me because this is the same guy who criticized Hex, or Hex. No, it's Hex. Yeah, who criticized Hex for not taking $20,000 from him to take some time off. Well, if you're begging people only a few years later to fucking subscribe to HelloFresh through your affiliate code, where the fuck did you have 20 grand? And if you did have 20 grand, where the fuck happened to it? That shit's kind of crazy. And you just moved. You and your girlfriend / boyfriend, whatever that is. I'm pretty sure that dude's trans or whatever the fuck. Whoever your partner or whatever the fuck that you just moved in with and shit. You guys just moved to fucking Michigan, didn't y'all? So like, what are you going to do there? And then you're talking about retiring from Smash like next year and whatnot. And it's not like you had the greatest year this year anyway. It wasn't terrible, but I don't think it was great. And I only say that because the prize pools over there for fucking Smash and Melee have never been anything worthwhile. Like fucking A, bruh. So where did you come up with 20 grand to try to help somebody else out with? That doesn't make any sense. Fucking A. I'll look into that further. I might make a video on it because that's just kind of silly. Fucking A, bro.
And be like,
especially, I have to say this, amongst the players in the Smash community, there's a literal documented history of some of them guys
if they don't have sponsorships, or if they're not part of an org or whatever, that they fundamentally have been down bad when it comes to finances. You know what I'm saying? Like Mango might be the exception because, well, he was part of Complexity. He did have a bunch of sponsorships and endorsements himself, all before fucking Ludwig ain't sat there and fucking sabotaged his ass on that fucking Mario Kart bullshit. But that's a whole nother story for another day. So he may be the exception to the rules for the most part, but most of them guys have always been down bad financially. I don't know. It might be an interesting rabbit hole to jump down, and we'll see what's what.
Oh, that's bad. I don't want to give a sponsorship to someone who's not getting as many views anymore. They're on a downward trend. I'm going to save that sponsorship for someone who's fresh and new. I hate to say it.
It depends on how much money they actually bring in through that sponsorship. I mean, Jesus, Phil, you have channels out here that have 1,000, 2,000 subs and they have sponsorships. So you can't even really say it like that. That's not a very good measuring stick right now. If you're a sponsor, you want to try to get as many eyes on your product as possible and whatnot. In any way that you can, you know, make that happen, then you make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking A, I'm seeing sponsorships on like channels on Twitch who like 10 viewers. You know what I'm saying? 10 viewers, less than 500 followers and doing that shit. I'm not number or I'm not viewer or sub shaming. That's not something that I do. But like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just putting it out there for context. And even they got sponsors. So it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? You can easily find a PR person on fucking or a sponsor person on fucking Twitter/X or Blue Sky, and you can find somebody. You can, if you're willing to talk to them, or if you can get yourself in a position to talk to them, you'd be surprised how willing they are to listen to you now compared to maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So
This could be one of the things that YouTube is doing. YouTube could intentionally be saying, we want a refreshing of the site. We're tired of seeing the same people.
Keep in mind also, around the same time as when you had that purge of all those view bots on Twitch. So that was a thing too. So, you know, maybe this was just a long time coming. Who could say?
Get the views, and we want to actually push views towards different people. And therefore, we're going to make it that views just aren't counting the same anymore. Maybe they changed the criteria. Maybe now you need to watch even more of a certain percentile of a video for it to actually count as a view. Maybe they're no longer counting ad block views. Did you ever think of that? That YouTube can detect?
Oh, fuck. See what I'm saying? This was, at this time, that was already well established. And he ain't sat there and gone through this fucking word salad just so he can come to the same conclusion that everybody has already come to at this particular point. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a right to speculate, but he's not speculating on something that hasn't already been said on fucking Twitter or Reddit. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? It's not like this guy had a competent thought and shit. He's gin-brained. The hell? He took all that time just to say this shit. It's crazy, bro.
If you're running an ad blocker, and if you are, they just...
And I mean, I can talk that shit because I'm long-winded as fuck, too. so don't be wrong. I get it. I'm long-winded as hell, too, but Jesus Christ.
One who's fresh and new. I hate to say it, this could be one of the things that YouTube is doing. YouTube could intentionally be saying, we want a refreshing of the site. We're tired of seeing the same people get the views, and we want to actually push views towards different people. And therefore, we're going to make it that views just aren't counting the same anymore. Maybe they changed the criteria. Maybe now you need to watch even more of a certain percentile of a video for it to actually count as a view. Maybe they're no longer counting ad block views. Did you ever think of that? That YouTube can detect if you're running an ad blocker?
So what, you're going to shame people for using ad block? Jesus Christ. He tries to bleed them. I mean, he tries to bleed them every way till Sunday anyway, so I guess that would be right in his wheelhouse and shit. Who was the one who said, Monday Matt said turn off that pesky ad block? Oh man, that's fucking a meme. I guess it's that. But then again, DSP has done that too. DSP has literally stolen that same thing. We're gonna call it stealing, and said that, hey, if you're using ad block, you're stealing from me. DSP has legitimately said that before. Said it a couple times. Holy shit! So that's nothing new.
And if you are, they just say, well, your view doesn't count. That could be. So I don't know. To be honest, again, it's not a big deal for me because I've been here long enough. My streams do well enough, but I see this as being a big problem for people who have a different business model.
And see, it's things like, it's situations like this that assholes like me are going to use if he tries to sue. Hey, how's he going to sit there and say that I took this away from him? I blocked this from him. I was doing torturous interference against him in any type of way, shape, or form. When I've got all these examples of him saying he's doing just fine right now off of his streams. What exactly did I impose upon him? And now no one else is really seeing it right now. I see it, but he's not seeing it. But most people aren't. Him sitting there saying, "Oh, well, YouTube's the problem. YouTube's, hurting me here. The algorithm's fucking me over here. They're not telling us what the new criteria are. This stuff is hurting me in my business." While at the same time coming out the other side of his snout saying that my streams are doing really well and I'm still getting my contributions, so I'm doing okay. I could literally just anybody could, honestly, any competent lawyer could literally blow that out of the water and be like, well, how are you going to sit there and say that the defendant ain't sat there and fucked you over? My client has fucked you over financially when it comes to the content on YouTube, and yet I have all these examples with all these dates and times where you said that it didn't bother you at all, that you were making great money on already and you were fine. How do you explain that to me? And I think that's one of the reasons why he wants Raw Phil out, because if this shit was to go to court, DSP literally has to go on fucking DSP Gaming. He needs to start deleting shit. Shit needs to start getting X the fuck out, especially segments like this. But if Raw Phil exists, then it's like, well, hey, right there, that's him saying that. There's a date, there's a time. How do you argue against that? Something to think about. Like, I want you to really, like, even though this whole fucking suing thing is just bullshit and whatnot, and that's how it should be looked at the same time, there's no reason to not already get a defense together for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just for the shits and giggles. Just for the shits and giggles and whatnot. He's hung himself so many times over, it's embarrassing.
For example, if I was still operating on my old business model, which was just pump out an insane amount of gameplay in one day, don't do any interaction on streams or anything like that, instead, just push videos. Like, this would literally crush my viewership. It would crush my business. So I'm glad that I changed and adopted. And I feel like if this continues, if this actual distinct change continues, all right, and the viewership remains much lower, what's going to end up happening is creators who you used to see only make on-demand videos are going to have to change. They're now going to have to start do streams. They're going to do other kinds of topics and things that they didn't cover before and have to try to find a way to monetize it. You're going to see a lot of people now adopting subscription bases, like, oh, privatized videos that you can only see if you're a member, or pledge to my Patreon, and on there I do an exclusive show.
Stuff that he's already doing or he's thinking about doing. And then more importantly than that, because he's not thinking about it because he's stupid, what happens if YouTube decides to be like, well, you know what? If we're going to go ahead and not count views because you're using an ad block on on-demand content, well, shit, why not just go ahead and do that for streams too? Now, most of you are being like, well, what if the content creator chooses not to actually monetize the stream until after the fact, when it becomes a video? Well, who's to say that YouTube isn't already monetizing won't monetize their streams themselves? They do that to channels that aren't monetized, and they'll put ads on their shit every once in a while. Fuck, I had ads on most of my shit before I got monetized. But then again, I was using a lot of copyrighted shit too. So that's a thing as well. But then you can find that on people who don't have, copyrighted stuff in their content, and you'll still catch an ad on it. YouTube's reaping the rewards of it. I get it. So what happens if they decide to go ahead and use that business model, as DSP wants to call it, for on-demand content, and they decide to transfer it over to streams? Then what? Now, excuse me, of course, if you watch a stream now that's monetized, the ad shows up on the side. So that's a thing. And that was probably a good idea. I'm not sure if Twitch does that or not. They probably should if they're not. But what happens if they decide to penalize people who use ad block that way? Then what's DSP going to do? He's going to have to go back to Twitch. He's going to have to go back to Twitch. And I know he's already thinking about it. And DSP is not going to do members only shit. He should, but he won't, because one, there's nothing that he does is worth that. I think, and two, there'll be a good Samaritan that'll probably already be in there, or it'll be one of his dents who's playing both sides of the field that's already in there, and they'll just shoot it off the other people, because that's been a rumor for a long time too. And I've been only paying attention to that because of what's been going on in LTG and what's that guy's name? Six Artican in their community and shit, where like the majority, like some of their mods are actual legitimate undercover trolls and shit, which is fascinating. Which is actually kind of fascinating, but not to say that DSP didn't have that or doesn't have that himself too. But the way they pull it is pretty interesting. But we'll talk about that another time. So what happens when the link gets just passed out? So DSP has 400 people, 500, 600 people in his members only shit. And realistically, there's only like 100 people that are actual. There may only be like 100, 150 people that are actual members in there. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is on that. It's always funny too. I'm not sure if you can use a VPN to buy memberships though. I feel like you can. I don't see why you couldn't. Oh, yeah, it wouldn't be a good idea for a DSP to do that. That would be a bad idea. Just go back to Twitch. Just go back to Twitch.
You're going to start seeing a lot more of that kind of stuff. All right? And what happens when that happens is now you're required to pay. The whole model of, oh, I just watch someone's content on demand and the ad revenue is what I pay them with is going to go away. Okay? So what YouTube doesn't realize they're doing, if they are doing this, is they're shooting themselves in the foot. Because what's going to end up happening is people are going to move to monetization models that cut YouTube out of the picture. They're not going to care about ad revenue anymore. They're going to say, come to my Patreon or buy this product that's sponsoring me, right? Instead of, oh, just watch my videos and get ad revenue. So again, the oh so smart people who work at YouTube, Ivy League trained, right? Spoon in
no, not necessarily. Not necessarily. YouTube will always figure out a way to get money out of them no matter what. Sooner than later, they're going to figure out something. You know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be some type of way of monetizing, even if you have to go to other business models to sustain yourself. I mean, look at DSP. He's got a Patreon. He's had Patreon for years. He pays for YouTube membership, and they somehow, well, they didn't convince him to do it. DSP did himself. DSP decided to promote getting YouTube Premium, so he could benefit and other people benefit. So there's always going to be that. DSP sat there and had a Teespring and shit, and that shit ain't sat there and crashed and burned. Well, YouTube itself has its own little internal situation where you could promote merch and or you could go through their own affiliates who do merch. So there's that way. If YouTube needs to take a bigger cut from content creators, they'll go that route. You know what I'm saying? I'm not wishing for any of that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what the business model is, there'll always be a way of profiting. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of getting it there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it takes. Because, I mean, are people going to just make a max, or is there going to be a mass exodus to just leave YouTube and go to another platform? Go ahead. Then that just opens up the grounds for everybody else who's still here. Just like if DSP was on YouTube or on Twitch and everybody is taking the month off because view bots or whatever, he would theoretically, he'd get pushed up in the viewership. It is what it is. This fear mongering he's doing, far smarter people than me and him have already figured that situation out. It's a thing. That's what it means to actually run a business and whatnot. But that's not even a business. Run a corporation. You know what I'm saying? Fucking DSP looks at YouTube as a business. Fucking YouTube, Google, Alphabet, that's a corporation. It's a completely different thing.
Pampered their whole lives, rich bitches who think that they're so brainiac intelligent and better than all of us are coding the site out of their own revenue model because they're that stupid.
I mean, YouTube makes money from more than just, I'm not going to explain all this. What the fuck? If he wants to be retarded and have his little fucking punchable face, smug grin, let him have it. It is what it is.
They're actually going to hurt themselves more. But
what? People said that to DSP for years, and what did he do? He kept going with it. He kept going with it. He kept going with it. And then years later, oh, well, People said I was shooting myself in the in the foot, and I didn't listen. And you know, now that I'm thinking back at it, man, they were right. I wish I had listened. You're right there, DSP. You're no better than they are. If DSP looks at those people as being elitists, he's doing the exact same shit now, and he don't see it because he's stupid, and he's desperate to get a win, I guess.
There you go. You know, who knows what's really going on? But ultimately, I don't want you to worry. Like, for example, I looked at the Silk Song videos from yesterday thinking, gee, how are people enjoying them? I look at the views. I'm like, how many views did it get? What? So just to give you an example of what I'm talking about, okay? It's actually claiming.
Are you going to show it on screen, just out of curiosity? I need to start doing that too, so don't get me wrong. I'm mindful of what I'm saying here.
That of the 3 Silk Song videos I released yesterday, one of them has 400 views. One of them has 245 views, and one only has 202 views. So you're going to tell me.
Feels bad, man. Put your hoof down. That's kind of tough, Phil. That's kind of tough. That's 17 years well spent, I got to tell you.
More people watching on my live stream than are interested in watching the video after the fact. Do you really think I believe that?
But here's the thing. How are you going to sit there and spin that and say it's the detractors' fault? How are you going to do that, Phil? And then how are you going to have a lawyer present that in court? That's what I'm interested in.
That has never happened in the entire history of me streaming, that I got overall more viewers on the live stream than on the on-demand video.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, to be honest. Twitch was a little different, because when he was on Twitch, he could still break, you know, 2,000 or 3,000 views on a video and whatnot. That was a little different. That was a little different. But I'd say in the last, like 5 years, though, at the shit, maybe even 6, now that I think about it. I'd say the last, like, 5 or 6 years, I'd say that's all par for the course, to be honest. Because what is he averaging now? Like 400,000 views a month or some shit? That's a far cry from the fucking 2 or 3 million he was pulling back in 2017. But then even then, that's even more of a far cry from like the, you know, between 13 and 15,000 or 15 million, sorry, that he was able to pull even before that. Just to give you an idea, a scale, if you will, of how far he's fallen. So I don't know. And that in his channel has a history of botting, or people botting his channel. Let me say it that way. There's a history of that as well. So how much of those numbers are legit or not anyway? There's variables. There's a lot of variables there.
That doesn't make any fucking sense at all. YouTube is just not counting views. But the thing is, I don't care. I'm not going to freak out about it because I would have made pennies on those videos anyway on demand. It's about you guys supporting the stream. And yesterday...
Now remember, he just said, well, plus or minus all my pausing, he had said that he does make a substantial amount through YouTube ads. Now he's saying he only makes pennies. Here, let me bring that back, because I might be lying. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I misheard it.
If stream, then are interested in watching the video after the fact. Do you really think I believe that? That has never happened in the entire history of me streaming, that I got overall more viewers on the live stream than on the on-demand videos. That doesn't make any fucking sense at all. YouTube is just not counting views. But the thing is, I don't care. I'm not going to freak out about it because I would have made pennies on those videos anyway on demand. It's about you guys supporting the stream. And yesterday...
Okay. So I would have made pennies on those... I would have made pennies on those videos anyway. So it doesn't matter that I'm making sorry. He makes pennies on those videos anyway, because he would make pennies on those videos anyway. So it doesn't matter that he has low views. What's important is that he can get the money out of your Velcro wallets and out of your disability checks now. Daily, if you will. Let's say it that way. Okay, well, I mean, yet again, it's going to be real hard to try to explain this shit away in court, Phil. Real hard.
Was one of the best supported streams I have had in weeks. We hit 2 goals and then some. We unlocked DSP Tries It. We had a great time.
We unlocked DSP Tries It? The fuck is that? It was that a time-sensitive goal and shit? What was that, time-sensitive fucking DLC? Like, really listen to him when he talks. Like, I might put a compilation of this together and shit, and I'll turn it into, like, a YouTube short or some shit. But, really listen to how he talks about, like, about these rewards and all these different things that you're paying into or whatever. It sounds like microtransactions. It legitimately sounds like DLC. That's literally how it comes off.
What I like to do, I do want to talk just a little bit about Silk Song, because I'm enjoying it so much, and we will do that in a moment, okay? But, man, if I believed that and I was worried about that, I'd be freaking out, like, oh, I guess you guys don't want Silk Song, huh? You want no more Silk Song because you didn't watch.
I'm really surprised he hasn't wage quit that yet. He's already threatened to do it, but I don't know, at least when you guys are watching this, whenever this comes out, in late October, November, actually. You guys might not actually see this till November, now I think about it. Yeah, you might not see this till November. Because I've been binging the shit out of fucking recording as of late. So I don't know if you guys are gonna see this till like November. Fuck. That's wild. Okay, anyway, whenever you guys see this, I'm not sure if he, at least in my current timeline, we're in September still. I don't know if he's kind of threatened to wage quit it a couple times, but he hasn't done it yet. I wonder if in your timeline, when you guys see this, has he actually even finished the game yet? I'm wondering. I'm really, really wondering. Huh. Well, that might be... well, I guess we'll see what future me thinks about that, but that'll be something. That's wild.
The videos, right? I mean, I'd be a moron to even go off that data. The stream was incredibly well attended, well supported. Why would I believe that data that no one's watching the videos? I'd be a fucking idiot.
But you also admitted you're not getting paid for it either. And let's not act like you're not, financially driven. Hope sip. Hope sip.
So, don't worry about it. The sky is not falling. It is not the end of the world. But I will say this. Please attend and support the streams. And if you are someone who watches the videos on demand, don't freak out if you're going to watch the video. You're like, why is the viewership so low? I don't even understand. I'm freaking out, right? Don't worry about that. Okay? It's not a big deal.
I don't know anybody who would even think that way anyway. I mean, don't be wrong. Like, perception is reality. I get it. And, you know what I'm saying? The optics are important, but I don't even see how that's even a factor, to be honest with you. Especially if you're a fan of Darksydephil. Like, he's cried and complained to you. He's tried to justify why his quote-unquote business model has been destroyed multiple times. And just ignore that and just support the content any which way you can. So I don't even see how that's even a factor, to be honest.
But if you like the content, please leave a super thanks on the video if you can. Please leave a tip if you can. Or if you can actually find the time to come by and stop by a stream and support it, please do.
Just imagine you telling somebody, hey, you can't, hey man, I'd love to go to your streams, GTG, but I can't, man. I just can't do something. I just don't have the time to do it and whatnot. I'd rather watch it on demand. And I'm like, all right, cool. But you should try to swing by the stream, though, and at least drop off some money, though. Just to let me know that you guys care about what I'm doing. I'd appreciate that. You know how fucking wild that sounds? You know how fucking wild that sounds? Dude, I'm surprised when people leave me super thanks. To be honest with you, I'm super surprised by that shit. But to sit there and I'm appreciative. Thank you to everybody who's done that. I really appreciate it. We all do. But the fact that, like, just imagine you letting that shit come out your motherfucking mouth to be like, oh, you don't have time to come up to my streams, man? Oh, you know what you should do? You should swing by my streams anyway and just drop some money off to me real fast and then be on your way. You know what I'm saying? You should do your part. You should pay your tithes. That's insane. Name another detractor who's done that shit. I can't. Don't get me wrong, I don't watch everybody. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty confident that's not a thing, bro. Holy shit.
That is my life's blood. Okay? Thank you. I really appreciate that because, again, with this weird fluctuation, people always tend to think the worst. I don't think anything bad is really happening. I think it's just nonsense, okay? So here we go. Someone just did a $2 tip and says, according to new data, a view is only counted if a view crosses over 50% of a video watched. If your videos are an hour, your viewers are going to have to watch 30 minutes. The site is trending towards instant gratification. Now, the funny part about that is,
I mean, DSP is like that too. So I mean, it's all par for the course, if that's true.
all right, if you remember years ago, all of my videos were 10 to 15 minutes long, to the point where everyone complained to me, Phil, why are your videos so short? They're way too short. We want longer videos. That's what everyone else is doing. And YouTube did an algorithm change that said, hey, it's now about engagement and length of content. So if you have a longer video that people watch, it's better than a short video. Seriously, that's what it was. It was watch time was actually the criteria that they used.
Keep in mind, when he was doing the fucking 10-minute the 10-minute method, if you will, one, that's what the site was limited to at the time, right? He's going to leave that out, though, because, you know what I'm saying, devil's in the details. And two, and most importantly, everything was fucking click-based rather than ad-based. It was a different type of animal back in them days. You know what I'm saying? If you've heard Tevin talk about that, praise be. If you ever heard Almighty Tevin talk about that, he'll tell you this shit was fucking milk and honey and shit and all that. The gravy train, literally. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to do something like that now, bro. There'd be so much fraud that would go on now if that shit would happen. Hell nah. That shit would be crazy. But anyway, point being is the circumstances were different back in those days. You can't really use that as a metric to explain your situation now. I don't think it's a fair representation, to be honest.
To figure out if a video is good or not. Okay? Now you're telling me years later, YouTube has decided, oh, longer videos are no good. Make short videos.
I don't even know if that's true. Longer videos can have more ads on it. And if you have an audience who has more retention to watch that video, then it would be far more beneficial that way. But I mean, it depends on what you're talking about. It depends on what you're doing. So there's that. You're never going to see hour-long Call of Duty videos unless they're just the stream that's been posted. Other than that, you're more likely not going to see that.
Do you see my point about these brainiacs who work at YouTube who think they're so smart? They don't even agree with their own reasoning. They change it over the years because they're fucking stupid.
Oh boy.
So let's say you created an entire business based off of short videos like I did back in the day. And it was huge profitability in the ads and everything because I was doing 15-minute videos. Then they flipped the switch and all of a sudden overnight, no one's watching my videos and I'm making no ad revenue because everything's being pushed towards longer videos.
He's actually mixing two things together. First off, 10-minute videos, and then it became 15, then it went longer than that. But he's actually mixing up two different scenarios. We're talking, remember I just spoke about things being click-based, and before they moved everything to ad-based. He's kind of conflating the two of those things together to make his story stick. Because he took a drastic hit. A drastic hit. He bitched about this. There's a video out there on this. When they moved from click-based revenue to ad-based. And then that's what led to the whole, if you're using ad block, you're stealing from them and so on and so forth. So he's literally taking two stories and conflating them together.
So I changed my business. Let's make longer videos. Everyone gets used to hour-long videos. Oh, now...
And actually his own audience told him to do that and he was reluctant to do it. He said he didn't want to do it that way. So there's that.
Short videos get credit again.
And then keep in mind, he was still making what, 40,000 plus a year on whatnot off of YouTube. So he was averaging anywhere from let's say 36 to 38 to $4,000 a month back then when he was bitching and complaining about all this. Think about that. Pulling 4,000 a month, or potentially 4,000 a month, and still crying and complaining about you're not making enough money. Yikes. And when I'm speaking about that, by the way, I'm talking about 2017 in particular, when he was forced to go to Twitch, and because he sat there and fucked himself over on that machinima situation. And he was still making crazy ass money between both of those sites. Over 100 grand for sure.
Okay, I have a question, genuinely, for YouTube staff.
I hope you're ready to just get an answer, because it doesn't matter if it's true for or not, Phil. The answer's still an answer.
Are you fucking stupid? Do you not understand that when you keep changing the criteria for what gets success on YouTube, you actually hurt those who make the content for you.
Didn't DSP just say that he doesn't care? It doesn't really matter. He's making his money off contributions. That's his lifeblood. So he's okay. Since when has DSP cared about or spoken up for somebody else?
That give you the fucking money that lets your business operate. You have to set in stone how you're going to run things, tell everyone how it works, and then we'll abide by those criteria.
No, that is not. That, if everybody gets views, then damn near nobody will get views. Damn near no one will get views. That literally makes no sense. If everybody knows how the algorithm works, if everybody understands what the criteria is and shit of the search engine, literally no one's gonna get views. It would be a baseline across the board for the most part. And then, Phil, it comes down to just straight talent. And whoever it is that's more entertaining, I know that's not something that's in DSP's vocabulary, but the people who are the most entertaining are going to rise to the top. But because DSP's stupid, you don't see that. So whatever charity views that you get, Phil, are just that. And you should be grateful for it. You should be grateful for it. Because if it comes down to straight talent, skill, or entertainment value, you're fucked. Royally. I just thought I'd put it out there.
Yeah. Stop changing things with knee-jerk reactions, not telling anyone. All you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot and hurting everyone who's trying to make a living on your site. But let's face it, you'll never hear this opinion. You'll never see this video because you don't care. You don't. If you did, you'd actually be communicative with those who you affect. You'd say, hey, big site-wide changes coming, everyone. This algorithm is changing this way, and you need to know because we want your business to be... No, you don't care. If you did, that's what you would do.
The site's not made for... It was not made, nor designed, nor is it still designed for you to be doing this for a living. I'm pretty confident YouTube would even advocate against that because it sounds like a fundamentally bad idea. The market is far too large. You know what I'm saying? There's too much competition. It's too volatile. Just like the days of Milk and Honey where you could fucking go over there on Twitch and make crazy money streaming. Not now. Not like that. Everybody's botted up and they're doing that not even because they're making money off of it per se like that. It's merely because it attracts more advertisers to you, right? It really feeds more brand deals and whatnot by appearing to have a lot of people watching the content. From an ad standpoint, that doesn't help fucking Twitch or Amazon at all, to be honest with you. So, but DSP wouldn't know that. And keep in mind, Phil, they send out fucking, YouTube sends out like a newsletter and shit like once a month, I think, and whatever. And so, do you even read those things? Like, you know what I'm saying? They do tell you about stuff. They even attach or embed videos in there to tell you about some of the new features and stuff they have coming out. I don't know. I just thought I'd put it out there.
Never do that. You just change things behind the scenes because you're afraid. You're afraid of site backlash. You're afraid of public outcry. You're afraid of someone actually...
His gaslighting is crazy. I gotta tell you, his gaslighting is crazy.
Holding you accountable for your actions. So you hide your changes like a coward.
You mean like how you hide in your house 6 days a week? Just asking. I thought I'd put it out there.
Oh, I changed it, but I don't tell anyone that I did that. Let's just see how it goes, right? That's a cowardly act. You have no fucking courage whatsoever, no accountability, no transparency.
Literally projection here, ladies and gentlemen. But all right.
No honesty.
Yet again, projection.
You're dishonest. You act like nothing's changed, and you just let people's businesses tank. It's messed up. I'm a lucky person because I've been around for so long. I'm bulletproof.
Bulletproof? You don't say. You're bulletproof. Boy. Oh, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to think it. I'm not even going to bring that type of energy into existence. Holy shit. I'm not even talking about some IRL shit. I'm just talking about, boy, oh boy, you saying shit like that, saying I'm bulletproof is a goddamn dinner bell to any detractor, any troll. Let's say that. Not even detractor. Any troll who really want to fuck around and find out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Phil, your channel is not invulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Shit can happen.
Just because shit ain't happened to you recently, or it's been a little while, don't mean shit can't happen. You're not bulletproof. Oh man, I gotta bring that back though for posterity's sake. Sorry. For posterity? No, posterity.
Be communicative with those who you affect. You'd say, hey, big site-wide changes coming, everyone. This algorithm is changing this way, and you need to know because we want your business to be... No, you don't care. If you did, that's what you would do. You never do that. You just change things behind the scenes because you're afraid. You're afraid of site backlash. You're afraid of public outcry. You're afraid of someone actually holding you accountable for your actions. So you hide your changes like a coward. Oh, I changed it, but I don't tell anyone that I did that. Let's just see how it goes, right? That's a cowardly act. You have no fucking courage whatsoever, no accountability, no transparency, no honesty. You're dishonest. You act like nothing's changed, and you just let people's businesses tank. It's messed up. I'm a lucky person because I've been around for so long. I'm bulletproof. But there's people on YouTube right now who are working their asses off trying to make a living, being creators, and you are crushing them with your ignorance and your narcissistic egos.
Literal projection. That's a great screenshot, by the way. That right there tells the story. Yeah, for posterity's sake, this is gonna work. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be real good. Holy shit. Oh shit. I'm definitely gonna remember this moment. You out your motherfucking mind. You out your motherfucking mind, boy. I gotta tell you right now, that shit's a motherfucking dinner bell. That's a motherfucking dinner bell. As far as I'm concerned, I'm hungry. I'll tell you that right now. Boy, I'm hungry. Now that you ain't talked that hot shit. But I might wait, though. I want to see if he says it again. I want to see if he says that shit again. Because the moment you start getting into your head that you're bulletproof, boy, there's going to be someone that's going to want to test it. You know what I'm saying? Someone's going to want to test that body armor. Someone's going to want to see what the actual limits are of that Kevlar. Someone's going to want to figure something out. Oh my God. One of the worst things you should ever say. I'm bulletproof. You're out your motherfucking mind.
No one cares that you think you're smart. What we care about is if the site works. And if we can make a living doing it and you don't screw us over. You can have your big...
If you're dead set on trying to do this for a living, you kind of already screwed yourself, to be honest with you. Unless you're willing to go the extra mile outside of ad revenue and outside of asking your audience to buy stuff or to give you money directly. You're going to have to do a whole lot more to make your brand as profitable as possible. You know what I'm saying? You can't just depend on people giving you handouts. It's not a thing.
Egos there. You can ride your slides to different floors. You can eat your pomegrapples and you can wear whatever the hell you want. You can do your
I know what he means, but it's weird how the way he said it sounds weird to me, but I get it.
Pilates class and everything in the middle of your workday. Do whatever you want, but do us all a favor. Grow the fuck up. Start acting professional. Start being transparent and stop fucking people's livelihoods over. Because you're fucking pathetic. Every one of you over there who act like that, who change things, you're pathetic. You need to stop with the bullshit. And we're tired of it. 17 years in the business and I still got to put up with this shit.
I thought he said he wasn't affected. I thought he said that he was the one in the million and shit. He was the lucky one and shit. Now 17 years and you're affected. Eat a dick. Even when he tries to stand up for other people, if that was his intention, he still comes across like a sniveling little bastard who's lying about a whole bunch of bullshit. It always has to come back to him in the end. Oh, that's amazing.
Have your big egos there. You can ride your slides to different floors. You can eat your pomegrapples and you can wear whatever the hell you want. You can do your Pilates class and everything in the middle of your workday. Do whatever you want, but do us all a favor. Grow the fuck up. Start acting professional. Start being transparent and stop fucking people's livelihoods over.
Now that right there, just in case you don't know, is when he is also a reference to something else. I can't remember if it was Twitch or YouTube or both. I want to tell you it was probably Twitch, though. But it could have been YouTube. Where he basically told people to put on a suit and tie and shit and do their fucking jobs and being professional. It just harkens back to that. Like I said, DSP is not very original and whatnot. Anything that he said, it could be, if you go back far enough, you can find where he's used it somewhere else.
Because you're fucking pathetic. Every one of you over there who act like that, who change things, you're pathetic. You need to stop with the bullshit. And we're tired of it. 17 years in the business, and I still got to put up with this shit? Why? Unbelievable. But again, here's the truth.
Imagine doing this 17 years in the business. So let's go off of that. I'll play this game. Sure, why not? Deal me some cards. All right, 17 years in the business. We've gone through 14 credit cards, 2, if not potentially 3 bank loans, right? A foreclosure, right? We've gone through a bankruptcy, right? We've literally begged our parents for money that entire 14 years, by the way, till this very day, to be honest with you. Doesn't got a lick in savings, doesn't have anything set up for if he gets sick, if Cat gets sick, if Jasper gets sick. If he gets sick, I guess Jasper's just going to die, to be honest with you. And I guess the same thing for Cat, too. If she get ill or whatever, well, fuck him. And let's say she get, God forbid, I don't even want to say this, but God forbid if she gets cancer or some shit. Well, sorry, can't pay for treatments. She's just going to have to just take that horse out back and just toot it ahead, I guess. And then off to the glue factory. I mean, he's got no safeguards whatsoever. He can't protect his family. He can't even protect himself. And he got the nerve to sit there and say 17 years in the business and you ain't got shit to show for it? You got a used car. You've got a house or a condo or a townhouse, whatever you want to call it, that's not paid for, that will never be paid for. You're going to die in that house. Or you're going to be dying as they pull your ass out of it. You don't own nothing. You got nothing to show for any of it. Imagine you dedicating damn near 20 years to an industry and didn't get anything out of it. You didn't learn any new skills. You didn't develop any partnerships, friendships, alliances. You didn't garner any allegiance or trust or faith. And you're literally going to walk out of there empty-handed. And you want to talk about 17 years blaming the man, I guess, for holding you down and holding you back. Jesus Christ, that's fucking crazy.
The big YouTubers won't say shit. Mr. fucking Beast won't say a peep because Mr. Beast is beholden to the system. He needs you two. Get it?
No, that's literally not true. That's literally... holy shit. Oh, man, he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. That's literally not true. That's literally not true. Like, how Mr. Beast makes his money and how he's acquired his wealth and everything like that is YouTube plays a very, very, very small part in it. And this isn't just me saying that because I'm against Phil. I'm just giving you guys the reality of the situation. Mr. Beast doesn't make his wealth off this shit. That's legitimately not true. That's legitimately not true.
The big guys won't ever bite the hands that feed them, right? Never. Never. They'll never speak out about this shit. That's the sad fact.
That's funny. Cope sip. It's funny because he tried to say the same thing about the FGC, right? And how down bad they're going to be and this, that, and the third, and yet they're still making it. I don't know how I feel about that, all that Saudi money that's getting ready to come in there. I don't know about how I feel about all that shit. I think that's going to lead into problems, but that's neither here nor there. That's the price of doing business, to be honest. But so Mike Ross's prophecy or prediction, it's really more of a prophecy, to be honest with you. But his prediction / prophecy all those years ago about fighting games going into esports, he may damn well be proven right within his lifetime, to be honest. But that's a whole other conversation for another day. But the idea or the thought process that the FGC are just fighting games from an esports level could literally be birthed and then die in one generation. Well, in a few generations, I should say. It's kind of scary. It's kind of crazy, to be honest. But it was going to die out anyway if it stayed, homegrown or whatever you want to call it anyway. It would have died out no matter what. It was going to eventually have to move online. It is what it is. But that's a whole other conversation for another day.
Okay. I'm done talking about that subject now. I got it off my chest. But in a nutshell, if you want to support my content, please support the streams or do a super thanks or a tip. Come by every once in a while, say hello and support if you can. Basically, the views aren't even counting anymore. I can expect that probably ad revenue will dip. But overall, it probably won't.
I mean, you just said you only make pennies anyway, and that's if the videos were getting views. So, sorry, Phil, I'm not gonna let you contradict yourself on that. You're gonna have to eat that.
Really affect me that much. Okay. Cool. Someone tipped me $5, says, "You're doing great. Positive and optimistic. I'm proud of you. Don't let anyone get to you. Just keep your focus and have fun." Thank you. And I plan to. Trust me. I absolutely plan to keep going. It doesn't matter about this nonsense. You know, I ignore it. I'm going to be here making content, having fun, doing what I love. And no one's going to hold me back or stop me from doing that.
Yeah, because he looked real happy doing what he's doing, right? He really sounds like he's in love with what he's doing. Yep. Sounds real fulfilling, I gotta tell you.
Because I know that what I do has meaning. People tell me every day how much that it means to them to be here and have consistent content, meaningful content. Just in the last 24 to 48 hours, I had people.
And you believe them? Wait a second. So when someone asks you a question, it doesn't matter if you give them an honest answer or not. An answer's still an answer. But you believe everything that people tell you as it pertains to you? But then didn't you just say that you didn't believe anything that YouTube had just said? And you felt like they were lying and being dishonest? It's real interesting how we can pick and choose who we want to believe and who we don't. That's real interesting. Seems hypocritical if you ask me, but that's only if you're asking.
People reaching out, thanking me, saying, "So happy that I could come by your streams and watch your videos and enjoy and just unplug from what's going on in the real world right now." And I totally understand.
Really? You thought you were actually contributing to that, given that fucking rant that you just had? How does that work? How does that make sense? Okay. That's all right then.
Again, we've been through this before. We'll be through it again. You know, tough times. You need an escape. And that's what I aim to be, is an escape for people so that you don't have to worry about this shit going on out there, you know, that's in this crazy world. Okay?
Are you fucking serious? Oh, so don't worry about the problems and day-to-day shit that you have going. Listen to his problems and his bullshit? I don't think that's how that's okay, I guess. I don't think that's how it's supposed to work though. That seems pretty dishonest and selfish.
And thank you to anyone who comes by and hangs out and enjoys the content for that reason. All right. John did a $2 super chat. He's talking about Wendy's. Well, maybe you should go to Wendy's and eat some chili. I've heard it's really good. Not my opinion. It's someone else's opinion. I think the Wendy's chili is disgusting, but maybe you should pour a couple gallons down your throat and then make your decision for yourself. Okay. All right. So that all being said, now that it's out of the way, okay, we're going to move on to other topics, but please support the stream. As I said, typically when I play Suicode N2, sadly, as soon as I start playing the game, we see a big dip in attendance.
That shit already sounds like it's going to get dropped. I honestly don't think he's going to finish that game. But we'll see. But holy fuck. Holy fuck. I feel like that game's on the chopping block for sure, for sure.
And a big dip of support. Let's get some support momentum going now so that when I play Suicode N, I don't have to worry about that. Let's get our first sub of the day over on Kick. Let's get our first member of the day on YouTube. Thank you for that $5 tip.
Wait, if your gameplay is supposed to be an escape, right, to not worry about like real world problems and shit, what gives you the luxury of worrying about about you having a financial worry of whether you're going to hit the stream goal or not when you're supposed to be providing content that's supposed to help people not think about their own problems? Let's remix that shit. How much comfort and relief and how much of a distraction are you to other people if you can't get over your own bullshit and put out set content? How do you sit there and produce a negative and try to sell it to people as a positive? Is probably what I should have said initially. How does that make sense? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So all you're doing is basically forcefully putting your own stresses on other people. But I thought the stream was supposed to be an escape, and that's not supposed to actually happen. It's almost as if he's a fucking liar. Holy shit. And a manipulative one at that. Definitely predator behavior. Like, let me go ahead and distract you from one problem, but then substitute it with another one. But it's not yours, so you should feel less stressed, I guess.
Strange. Holy shit.
tip? How about we get us another super chat because we only have one? And how about we get another tip? Let's get a little bit here of each different direction, and let's get it moving and going, shall we? Cool. All right. So we have many topics to discuss, okay? First topic, Silk Song went really well yesterday. The game kicked my butt, but I persevered. I'm starting to understand a lot more about Silk Song the further in that I play when it comes to the controls and the gameplay mechanics and things like that. I even did an optional dungeon that was very, very challenging, for sure. I'm liking it. So for now, it stays in the rotation. And in fact, you guys supported it so well that it's going to be tomorrow. It wasn't going to be tomorrow originally. We were going to play it again on Sunday, but you guys supported in droves.
Oh yeah, there's like a whole situation around this whole thing too. Now I think about it. I don't know if I've actually sat down and edited that all up yet, but it carries over from like 3 streams, or yeah, it carries over from between 3 streams or whatever. I'll put it all together and shit. It'll be an interesting little it'll be an interesting situation, cause yeah, cause his begging was definitely at an all-time high with this bullshit. I was thinking that we were going to start to get into scorn levels type shit. I don't think we actually did, but we were pretty damn close. Yeah, that actually, let me actually write that down and whatnot. But yeah, that took place over like 3 days. Like the begging was fucking outrageous. By the time you guys seen this, SnortBucks, Memology, Snort Hogan, they've already got all that out there. But yeah, I'll put a little thing together and we'll go over it. That's madness, bro. Absolutely madness. I honestly thought this game was going to break him mentally, and maybe it has in some ways.
And because you did, I said I would play it again tomorrow. So tomorrow's daytime stream is more Silk Song. Again, I'm excited because we're heading into new regions, new abilities, and more challenges. As long as you guys keep coming by, engaging and supporting Silk Song, it will stay in the rotation as a daytime stream and a major playthrough. So let's keep that going tomorrow. Let's have people show up, engage, and support. I hope you'll enjoy the videos because the videos I think are great. It's showing me basically playing a game that I never played the first one, right? I only played the first one for like an hour during a marathon. And kind of trying to learn and adapt on the fly to everything going on in the game, learning new mechanics.
He's definitely watching other people's playthroughs of that too. I'll just say that right now. I mean, by now, you guys already know that, but he was definitely watching other people's playthroughs. He's definitely watching other people's playthroughs.
Mechanics.
And I honestly think that's the reason why he doesn't like play. He doesn't want to play certain games day one anymore. He'd rather wait a couple days or a week, so it allows him like that. It allows him that bit of a stagger. Other people can put their playthroughs out. He can sit there and watch that shit at night while he's getting himself all ginned up, and then he can try to emulate that bullshit later on for his own shit. Because yet again, this is how you don't play as the priority, obviously.
Already, I really like it. You have air dash. You got a hover now, where you can go slowly hovering down, or you can float on these like air columns or whatever. It's all awesome stuff. Like it's classic Metroidvania style stuff. I love it. I can't wait to play more Silk Song, and I hope that you'll join me tomorrow for it. Okay, cool. Okay. Oh, excuse me. It's some indigestion there. Sorry about that. Okay. So, would I ever consider filming or streaming from an actual restaurant? Well, here's the thing. I am not an on-the-fly filmmaker. I don't have equipment to do that.
You don't have to. You can do that shit from your phone like most people do. Whatever.
Because, you know, you need some kind of lighting or maybe like a selfie stick so you can look at yourself eating and then you put it back down, you film the food.
Is Kat not there? Is she gone? Is her head in the freezer? What's the problem? You could have her film you, just like I used to make Panda do that bullshit. I think Kat filmed him. Well, no, Kat filmed him a couple times, to be honest. Or he could have used. Actually, I can beat this right now. He could use the tripod that he used for. I want to say it was the Jack in the Box food truck sandwiches they had, or subs, whatever it was. This is like right before Kat showed up. I want to say Kat showed up literally that week. It was like the last DSP tries that he did before she popped up. He got 2 I want to tell you there was 3 sandwiches, but I think he only got 2.
and he ate half of each sandwich, and he put that in the refrigerator, and then he ate the other half the next day and shit. He was literally like, it was like he was rationing food out and shit while he was waiting for it to get there. It was fucking crazy. Anyway, yeah, but he did it. I'm pretty sure it was Jack in the Box, I thought, had done it. It wasn't Del Taco or none of that bullshit. And I don't think he's ever been to like. No, they got California now. They don't have like Big Kahuna Burger or anything in Seattle. Anyway, but he used a tripod to film this shit. He literally used a tripod to film that whole situation while he was doing that DSP Tries It. So it's not like he couldn't just have a tripod on the table, literally in the middle of the table, to be honest, and he could film himself and maybe Kat, but I'm pretty sure she don't want to be on camera anymore. I'm wondering if she's even there at this point. He could film himself that way. So him needing that whole tripod stick and all that bullshit is not a thing. But more importantly, for some of the more popular people on YouTube or Instagram or whatever who do that, they usually just do that shit through a camera. It's so much easier and convenient that way. Because in most of those restaurants or whatever, they may let you have a POV, so to speak, of just yourself and the food. They don't want the whole restaurant to be filmed. So doing it on a camera phone is far more easier and convenient to do. Anyway.
Use selfie. My phone, I don't mess with that at all. Like, I know my phone has probably a pretty good camera and feature. I don't mess with it. So you're talking about,
I don't mess with it. It's not like he's scared of it. What, you're afraid you're going to accidentally go live and expose yourself? Maybe.
you know, I'd have to essentially do something completely out of the ordinary from me. I'd have to prepare it and figure it out. In addition, here's the problem.
God damn, he's lazy as shit. God damn, he's lazy as shit.
Right now,
Useless.
DSP Tries It is a show based on hitting goals. And then when we hit the goals, we do the show, right?
It's not a show. I don't know why he even said that. It's not a show.
I can't do that if we're doing one from a restaurant.
Why not?
Because I only go out, you know, I'm working 6 days a week, usually. If I'm going to go out to eat, it's got to be scheduled on one of my days off.
Well, no, why? No, that doesn't make any sense at all. You do the day stream, like they hit DSP Tries It on a fucking Friday. He does the day stream, and then the evening stream, he doesn't even have to do a stream, but I guess he could if he wanted to. And then in the evening, he records the DSP Tries It, and then posts it. The fuck are you talking about? What do you mean it has to be done on your day off? No, it don't.
So now you'd have to wait. Like, for example, let's say...
Now that you'd have to wait. But aren't they waiting if they don't hit the goal right away? If they have to wait 2 or 3 days because they haven't hit the goal yet? What's the difference? Literally making excuses for everything. Fucking useless.
That's what we were doing this week. Let's actually saying that this week we are...
And here's the real thing. He's a coward. He don't want to sit there and complain about the food while he's in the restaurant. That's what it is. On top of that, he don't want to get noticed. He don't want... So he's afraid that someone would notice him. That someone may very well be able to point his ass out. Well, more like point out Kat. She's the bigger of the two. And then there's that situation. That's what he's really scared of. Because he's doing everything and some to try to come up with an excuse on why he can't go out in public and be able to record it. Let alone stream it, but certainly record it. Sounds like a coward to me. Sounds like someone who's scared to me.
I was going to go to an Asian restaurant.
And then the thing is, think about it. You're getting paid $1,500. You can't go to a sit-down restaurant for a night? Really? Oh, I have to do it on my day off. You can't afford to take an extra day off after making $1,500 to go and record at a restaurant?
Where I was going to try this century egg and congee soup, right? Well, let's say that we hit the goal yesterday. Well, my day off is Saturday. So you guys have to wait all the way till Saturday for me to go to the restaurant and film. By the way, now I have to edit it because it's not a stream anymore. So now I have to actually put that video into a video editor. I probably have to tweak different things, edit around, skip scenes, maybe adjust the volume because when you're at a restaurant, they're playing copyrighted music. Usually
you can mute most phones, well, not most, I'll say some phones. Some phones have the feature where you can actually mute the background sound so only your voice comes through. He wouldn't know that because he's stupid. Good screenshot, by the way.
In the restaurant, and obviously you can't have that because YouTube will just block the whole video. So there's so much you have to understand that will go into work to make that happen. And now here's the rub of all of it, right? The people who do that stuff, because I'm well aware there's an entire genre of content on YouTube that's people who go to restaurants and review food. And it could be a fast food restaurant and they eat it in their car, or it could be an actual high-end restaurant and they film it from inside the restaurant and all of that, right? It is.
Oh yeah, that's a fantastic point. He can just eat in his car. He can eat in his car. That's what most of the famous or popular or well-known TikTokers do and shit. They just eat in their car.
All possible, I know.
I mean, I don't know how much room Kat's gonna have between the dashboard and her. You know, let me stop. I'm not sure how much room is there between all that, but you know, matter of fact, no, I'm not gonna take that back. Fuck that. I'm sorry, but not sorry. If Foodie Beauty and Amberlynn Reed can somehow snug their way into a front seat and then still be able to fucking eat off their troughs, then I assume that Kat can do it too. Let's be honest.
I've seen the videos, okay? But those people actually put high-end production value, editing and everything into it, all that time and effort, because it actually makes them money. Do you get it? Like, they're doing that video as in the hopes that they're going to get 20, 40, 50, 100,000 views, and they're going to make like a couple $100 on that video.
You got paid $1,500 to theoretically do that video. So what's your problem? He's really not me. Holy fuck. Oh, you're so stupid. This isn't very good. This isn't very good. They're putting all this time and effort in and hoping that they'll make a couple $100 off this. He's being paid $1,500 in advance. And look at how far and how hard he's fighting not to do this. Damn, we're starting to get to Derek levels of fucking deflection with this shit.
I'm not doing these videos for that. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is just supposed to be a silly reward, a quick one-off thing that we do.
So a lazy shit that's minimum effort, minimum time, and money involved, and he basically walks away with the maximum profit. And this is why people shouldn't support that shit, because it is shit. It's just slop. You're paying this clown $1,500 for him to spend $100, and then he walks away with your other $1,400. On top of demanding even more donations from you while he eats the slop that he ordered. But look at what happens, look at how he acts if you ask him to leave outside of his element. Hey, eat in your car. Like, eat out in the parking lot or something. Hey, take us into the restaurant and record it. You don't even have to live stream it. Record it and give us that experience. Oh, well, I can't. Oh, no. Oh, god damn, dude. He's fighting for his life out there. That's sad. That's really, really sad. What an ungrateful piece of shit.
Because you guys supported my streams. I have no hopes or aspirations to make money off of DSP Tries It.
Even though we made $1,500 so we could do the DSP Tries It. Okay. It's a choice. Holy shit, it's a choice.
If that were the case, I want you to think how crazy this is. The typical episode gets between 1,000 and 2,000 views. You know how much money that makes me? Probably like $4.
So he literally posing the argument and shit. Like, he's talking about the back end. He's talking about the payoff on top of the payoff. What about the 1,500, Phil? Scumbag. Holy absolute scumbag.
So you're basically changing the idea. The idea of doing DSP Tries It as, hey, we hit the goal, we order the food right away, we do the episode live, it's exciting.
But that's literally a lie. They don't order the food right away. If he hits the goal at 11 o'clock his time, he still don't order food until when Din Din usually happens, which is around 4. There's no, what the fuck? So no, they don't order the food right away. He still has a designated time so he can order food. So this way Kat is home by then, so he can make sure he feeds her on time, because if not, she get cranky. The fuck are you talking about?
Interactive, because you're here for it and we're all excited because it's something we're all experiencing together. Like, get hyped for it. We're doing it today. Versus, hey, let's hit the goal and I'll record on Saturday and I'll have to edit it and put it out later within like a week. You won't be.
And he's not going to edit it anyway. He's going to get fucking Darksydephil or one of those fucking weirdos to do it. So what are you talking about? He didn't edit the John and Howard shit. Someone else did that. He didn't edit the, what's the other piece that he did? He had another React event where he had to edit a bunch of shit together. He didn't edit that either. So I wouldn't expect him to edit that video at all.
I don't think, if I remember correctly, I don't think he was even the one who did all of his YouTube shorts. I think someone else did that. He may have done a few of them, but he didn't do all of them. All right, man.
Here for it. It's just going to be like a video that just goes live randomly. Oh, by the way, I'll put all that, time and effort and money into it, and it makes me like $4. That's the difference. You see the difference?
Bastard.
And I think that's what it is
Cope sip, greedy bastard. Absolutely.
people love to compare me to other people who do things like high-end professional.
You literally compared yourself to other content creators when you were bitching and complaining about the algorithm and the fucking and the search engine and shit as it pertains to the criteria for views. You didn't mind comparing yourself there. Oh, because it was easy to bitch about that because everybody else is. But then when someone's like, hey, this guy does this, you should do that too. Well, the amount of work that goes in there, man, I don't want to do that. I've got the laziest setup ever. I want to stick with that. How dare you ask me to do those things? Don't you want your quick reward right now? Don't you want it nice and easy? Jesus.
For a living and shit. You have to understand that I am completely different. I am. I'm doing this as a reward for something we've already done. I'm not looking to have aspirations for this to become, hey, this is my side gig now where I can go to restaurants and I can review the food as a YouTube foodie and stuff like that. No one's ever going to do that with me. Why? Because I'm one of the most harassed people on the...
What do you mean do that with you? Why can't you do it by yourself? And why do you always need someone else for you to get something done? I'm running back. That's crazy. Useless person. Absolutely fucking useless.
That's the difference. You see the difference? I think that's what it is
Cope sip.
people love to compare me to other people who do things like high-end professionally for a living and shit. You have to understand that I am completely different. I am. I'm doing this as a reward for something we've already done. I'm not looking to have aspirations for this to become, hey, this is my side gig now where I can go to restaurants and I can review the food as a YouTube foodie and stuff like that. No one's ever going to do that with me. Why? Because I'm one of the most harassed people on the internet. No one would ever take me seriously. No matter what, everyone would just deride what I do and say, his opinion doesn't matter. This isn't serious. This is just fucking bullshit. What makes him think he can make a professional video? Blah, blah, blah. Right? So...
because you've never made a professional video and you can't. You think you can, but you can't. Because if he thought he could, he'd done it by now.
I understand.
It's funny. Why do you got the stress ball, Phil? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This might something that should come out of this. Last time I saw a stress ball on that stream was the one that fucking cat busted during that one Q&A. She ain't freaked herself out. And not to say that's funny, because I'm not laughing at it. But Jesus Christ, she did freak herself out when that shit happened and burst that ball. So now he ain't sat there and reached for it himself. What are you scared of? What's got you bothered?
I understand what you're saying, but sadly, the stuff that you're hoping for. Gee, I hope that Phil maybe would do some different videos with high-end production value. Go to a real restaurant and review the good stuff.
This dude legitimately has anxiety. He literally freaking the fuck out. That's fascinating.
Right? That would do really well. It wouldn't. It would be the same as everything else. So I know what I'm good at. I know what's my bread and butter. I know what to stick to. And I know that every once in a while, veering away from that, doing silly stuff can be cool. But in the case of like going to an actual restaurant, dude,
imagine that right there in his hand is a stress ball. That jerking off motion he's good for. That's actually a great screenshot. But anyway, that jerking off motion he has, that's a stress ball. Just imagine how freaked out he is right now that he was forced to get a stress ball to cope. The idea that people are demanding for him to go to a fucking restaurant and film something there got him this freaked out. Oh, that's a great screenshot, by the way. That might be a nice little May 1st update video, or update fucking screenshot, or fucking picture, I should say, or thumbnail, whatever. I'm gonna have to remember this one. That's hilarious. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. That's full. That's damn near full burst if you think about it.
Professional level video with lighting and a selfie stick and editing and everything. I just don't see it panning out to be anything that people care about, to be quite frank with you. I don't think people would care. It would probably get the same 1,000 to 2,000 views that we always get on a video. No one would give a crap. Okay. I'll say this. Never say never, but at the same time...
Nah, you don't get to do that spiel and then come back and do that. But the fact that he had to reach for that stress ball, that's telling. That's telling. And ladies and gentlemen, that makes sense. If you only left your house once a fucking week, you have, I would assume, massive anxiety too.
I'm sure you'd be very apprehensive of leaving your home as well. You'd be scared to death. That's what it sounds like with this. He sounded like he was scared to death. And like that fucking stress ball was his only lifeline to cope. That's fascinating. I don't know if that's flown under the radar, but it damn sure ain't gonna fly under this radar. Not today. Not today. That's very... I might have to make sure there's a timestamp for that. I want people to see this. That's very, very telling. That's very, very telling.
Unless people show tons of interest in it, it's probably not going to happen, right? If there was a rallying and people were like, yes, we absolutely want it. Look, we're willing to support it. We want to see you do it.
It's very clear that you don't want people to fucking rally for that, though. You don't want any attention brought to it. Absolutely amazing. Holy shit.
Then I would do it. But, you know, I don't really get that. I don't get that vibe. I get that, you know, there's first of all, there's
why are you fighting this? Just say no and move the fuck on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's so scared that whoever this person is not going to contribute, or because of DSP's response, because he responded poorly, comes across as what's the term I want to use for it? Indignant, belligerent for sure. Dishonest, actually. It just really comes across pretty fucking dishonest and lazy. He's scared that people won't give him money. So now we have to sit here and try to pick up the pieces after he ain't sat there and already busted. Now you want to try to clean the mess up and shit just to keep the money flowing. But it's very clear that, at least according to what I saw with the stress ball situation, you're scared. You're scared to leave the house. The mere suggestion of him filming outside of his home, outside of the Snort fort, got him freaked the fuck out. Fascinating.
Bunch of vocal people who are just shitbags who say, oh, DSP tries it fast food in your office. You're paying $1,500 for you to eat Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Which is asinine and stupid. No one's paying $1,500 to see me eat Taco Bell. And we all know that. That's their insane spin.
What is 150 times 10, Phil? Hey, we need to hit 10 goals at $150 a goal to do the DSP tries it, which is $1,500. And I guess the current goal is is for Taco fucking Bell. How am I wrong? How is anybody wrong?
In justification on something in a toxic way that's not actually happening. Okay?
Oh, so if I said it a nice way, would it validate it any further? The fuck? Look at this shit. This is a Pee-wee's Playhouse and shit. I mean, that's kind of funny that I threw that reference out there, but he got caught jacking off public too. But whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? This isn't fucking Care Bears or whatever the fuck they used to watch back in your day and whatever. If you can't take the hit like a man, shut the fuck up.
But I really feel that for the most part, people are happy with DSP tries it as is.
Well, if it's from your perspective, then of course it is. You don't want to do anything else. You're scared. Wow, this is straight bitch coward type behavior. Fantastic. I'm not gonna forget this one for a long time. This was good. This was good. Boy, you better hope I don't get lazy and fucking... Well, you better hope I do get lazy, actually. And decide to make just a separate video off of that. Because I'm kind of thinking it. I kind of want a video just devoted to how paranoid you were at the mere utterance of asking you to leave the house. Jesus.
They are. Because we're hitting goals, we're doing the episodes, and they're getting views. So, what's the
But they're not getting views. You just said they weren't. Whatever. Whatever.
problem? The problem is there's people who are just never satisfied and they complain at everything I do and say it sucks. So to them, even though DSP tries it's doing well ever since I brought it back a year ago and we're hitting goals and we're getting milestones and we're having fun, that's not good enough. It's terrible.
He's legitimately shitting on that guy and he's trying to paint it as if it's the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics that are actually shitting on him for what he does. When realistically, he's shitting on this guy for demanding, putting the idea, not even just demanding, I should say, for putting out the mere idea that DSP should do something else because what he's doing is not very good. You know what I'm saying? If you guys didn't think that Gouty warfare was a thing, it's a thing. Like, this is legit snorty warfare right here. This is starting to get beyond what pignosis is. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely pignosis. At its base, it's still pignosis, no matter what. But fucking A, bruh.
And here's the thing. If his audience goes through this type of psychological gaslighting and shit like that, right? And fucking Pignosis cranked up to the goddamn max. Just imagine if Kat's still there. Just imagine what she deals with on a daily basis. Damn. If I had a soul, I would actually feel bad for her. Fuck, bro.
Terrible. We got to have him change it up completely. Why isn't he doing alcohol? Why isn't he doing a stunt? Why isn't he doing this? Why isn't he filming from a restaurant? Why does he do that? Because no one cares. No one fucking cares.
He's literally shitting on that guy. Great screenshot, by the way. He's literally shitting on that guy. Fucking A, Phil. Good God, bro. You just said YouTube, people give suggestions to YouTube. They don't care. They don't want to listen to it. They just do what they want. You're doing the exact same thing. But of course you are.
It really is just a ridiculous thing where people want to say that it's not working. It's working. It's been a year. It's working. And then when we don't do it, like the past 2 weeks we didn't do it, it wasn't working. It wasn't until I brought it back. Now it's working again. Okay.
Yikes. Yikes. Oh, that might have to be a separate video in itself. Fucking A. Boy, Phil, you're lucky as fuck that I don't do YouTube Shorts, bro. I'm not planning on doing that till like 2026, maybe. But you should be goddamn lucky that I don't. Because I have so many different there's so many different areas like this that I could ISO you and shit. I really should start. Asian GTG was right. I should have started that shit back in June. Fucking A. Well, like I said, we'll get there eventually.
So here's the deal. We got about 10, 15 minutes left. Let's do some Q&A. And for God's sakes, let's get some support. Because like I said, once I start playing Suikoden, sadly...
Or should I just make a whole nother channel and just put shorts there? Huh. I should do like a poll or something. That'd be kind of cool. Or I could just put that on the streaming channel, actually. It could go there. That'd be neat. So there's something on that channel between streams. I'll think about that further.
It seems like support tends to dry up. And then we have a whole dead stream of nothing. I'd like to get some support before we start playing it. Okay? So let's go. Let's get our first sub of the day over on Kick.
Nice.
Let's get some support from the Kick side of things. And let's get that going absolutely, positively, right now.
Look at this Gouty off. Look at him off. Oh, that shit's so funny. Oh, that's so amusing to me. There's no way he's 5'11". I've been thinking that too. And of course, DSP has always told us he's 5'12". Anyway, he's definitely not 6 foot. Because like I said, John's taller than he is. He's definitely not 5'11". He has to be like 5'9", 5'10". There's no way that he's 5'11". Not at all. I might be willing to give him 5'10", but he's damn sure not 5'11". Fucking A. Oh, fucking manlet. Not to say that every person fucking that's 5'10" or lower is a manlet. I'm saying he's a manlet. Oh, shit. Rich is a fucking manlet. Over 400 fucking pounds, dude, and you're barely 5'7". That's a manlet. Good God.
Oh, wait. I forgot. I didn't use the AI command. So remember, all my support is fake. No one actually supports DSP or DSP Gaming or Phil Burnell. It's all AI generated. So I have to give the voice commands that make the AI support during the stream.
You're not proving anything. You're just proving that when people say stuff like that about you, it bothers you. That's unfortunate. Last thing you need is someone like Kino Casino getting their hands on some shit like that, boy. That would not be good. Jesus.
So here we go. We ready? We need support before I start with the Suikoden.
Look at him with his little hooves. Look at him with some curled up hooves. Oh, boy. Like, that's intimidating to anybody. Holy shit. Look at his little hooves. That's hilarious.
Stream. So let's rally. Let's open our wallets. And let's shower the king in the taxes and tithes that he deserves for entertaining all of you, the people. All right? Let's get some subs. Let's get some tips.
I miss the days when he used to do the Hitler poses. He doesn't do them so much anymore, which is unfortunate and whatnot. But back in the day, that shit was kind of amusing. It's not so much now.
Let's get some super chats. Let's get.
And if you don't believe me, you should definitely go back and look at some of like his old gestures and like his old hand gestures, especially when he was on Twitch. You go back and look at those, and I can't think of the name of the photographer. It's a Jewish photographer, if I remember correctly. But like some of those famous pictures of Hitler in black and white, and he's doing all those outrageous poses and shit like that. And well, you should look at them because some of those things are similar to what DSP does. So that's why I've always kind of made that comparison. It's kind of interesting.
some memberships, and let's get all of that showering upon the royal coffers of the king right now.
Oh, silly shit. Silly shit. Yeah, the moment's passed, Phil. Why does your hand look as unwashed as your face, Phil? That's not a good sign, bruh. Just saying. Like I said, you've been digging in your ear with that, fucking picking your nose with that shit. You've been wiping your fucking gouty mustache with that shit. That's fucking gross, bro. You've been running that shit through your hair. Nasty. That's fucking nasty.
I received a gifted membership. Ian has gifted a membership to the community, and it went to Dominic. Thank you to Ian. I appreciate that, Ian. That's our first membership of the day. Grandmaster Scrub says, can I prepay a few bucks towards American Truck Simulator? Well, here's the thing. Here's what I've been saying, okay? Let's say particularly there's a game in the rotation you like, but you can't attend that stream. Absolutely, you can...
Wait, no, because people have been asking for that. Well, people have been asking this for a while. But the one example that stands out to me very distinctly was Liza P. And someone had asked to do that, and he said no. But now he's saying that he's been advocating for that? Fuck you, no. That's not true.
Support that game, but you have to let me know. Like, let's say we do American Truck Simulator on Sunday night, and we come short of the goal. It's like $100, and that's it. If you were to do a super thanks on the video, if you were to leave a tip overnight, if you were to come by the stream the next day and say, hey, sorry Truck Sim didn't hit the goal, but I want to support that game, so here's $50. Let's hit that goal. I'll count it. Okay? But that's how it works. I don't want anyone...
Whoa. This shit is far grimier than I thought it was. Holy shit. Bring that back. Oh, that's far greasier than I thought it was.
Okay? Grandmaster Scrub says, can I prepay a few bucks towards American Truck Simulator? Well, here's the thing. Here's what I've been saying, okay? Let's say particularly there's a game in the rotation you like, but you can't attend that stream. Absolutely, you can support that game, but you have to let me know. Like, let's say we do American Truck Simulator on Sunday night, and we come short of the goal. It's like $100, and that's it. If you were to do a super thanks on the video, if you were to leave a tip overnight, if you were to come by the stream the next day and say, hey, sorry Truck Sim didn't hit the goal, but I want to support that game, so here's $50. Let's hit that goal. I'll count it. Okay? But that's how it works. I don't want anyone prepaying, right? We're not even sure we're doing Truck Sim yet, so let's not prepay Truck Sim. But after the fact, if we don't hit it, then let's go ahead and, see if we can rally after. I'm okay.
That's literally greasy, though. And that's also not true, because that's how he kept Silk Song going. So it was okay to do it for Silk Song, but it's not okay to do it for Truck Sims. And then let's go further than that. What's that guy's name? It's Bagwell, right? I think his name is. Isn't Bagwell sitting there buying fucking the DLC for DSP each and every week for that playthrough? Is that not enough to keep him playing? Being that someone is already investing money so you can continue to continue to play further through the game? That's scummy. That's scummy as hell. I mean, this is all par for the course, so it is what it is. But that's really, really slimy. And he's saying that, oh, you're not allowed to prepay. We're not doing prepays for stuff. while he's literally doing prepays for stuff. Huh.
Okay with that. I understand that not everyone can show up for every stream. Okay.
And even then, that's still not a good reason to do it that way, though. Oh, just because you can't show up to the stream, you can retroactively give money to it, and I'll continue to play. That's not fair. You know what I'm saying? I think that's even more disingenuous than paying him in advance for him to keep playing a game. To be honest, it doesn't really matter. He can fuck you over either which way on that if you think about it. The cards are literally stacked in his favor, so it doesn't matter either which way. But that seems hella disingenuous. Fucking scumbag.
All right, guys. So the show's going to end in just a moment. Last chance. Let's rally because we're going to do Suikoden, and you know what's going to happen. Let's get some support for it right now. Let's go. Let's support the stream now. Our first sub of the day, a super chat and a tip right now. All right, I guess not. Well, it is what it is. I really hope that some people will stick around and will hang out and support the Suikoden stream. We are doing DSP Tries It after. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the...
See, so if they've already hit the goal for DSP Tries It, why are we doing it right now? Why do we have to wait until his regular din time to fucking make that happen?
show and I'm going to go on a break and then I'm going to come back and we're going to start with Suikoden 2. But I really hope people will stick around and support it. It sucks because the game, we're almost...
That's sad. I thought you put out meaningful content that people really like, and yet you're begging for people not to leave you after the fucking Bottom Bitch podcast is over with. What's that say about you and your content, my guy? Maybe there's a reason why, if it's in restricted mode, when it's in restricted mode, the only thing that's left is the fucking daily wipe. Maybe there's a reason for that.
Halfway through, or we're around halfway through now. And in reality, the game is getting better. Like, the game is legit getting fun now because we're recruiting people and we're doing new parts of the plot.
Look at him legitimately trying to induce pig noses so they'll stay. That's sad. It's not even so much about continuing to give him money. He's legitimately begging people just to stay, to not leave him. And that goes back to what I've been saying. DSP has abandonment issues.
But definitely the interest has waned. I'm seeing less and less people attend those streams and support them. It sucks because I really like the game and I want to keep doing it, you know, but I need people to show up and engage and support with the content, and they're not. So I hope you guys will stick around for it. Okay.
Hope sip.
Okay. All right, folks, that is it for today's show.
Yo, we're going to have to revisit that stress ball situation. That was a nice piece of work that I'm actually rather proud of myself that I had that in there. That was a nice piece of work. I was not expecting that. That's some wild shit. Interesting. That's an interesting reaction, I gotta tell you. Out of all the quote unquote stress that he had in that therapy session, only when someone pushed against him, or not even pushed against him, really made the suggestion about, hey, can we go to an actual sit-down restaurant, or can we do a DSP Tries It outside of the house? He did all of that bullshit. He complained and bitched and did all that bullshit. And then he tried to gaslight the dude into trying to fuck things up for everybody else, saying, this idiot sitting here demanding more from me, saying what I'm doing is not good enough, but you guys love it. You know what I'm saying? It is good enough. It's great. Everything's going well. And that's why I'm going to keep doing it the way I'm doing it. That's fascinating. That's fascinating seeing that. Especially something so recent. That's crazy. Anywho,
All right, so final thoughts, and I'll let y'all go. I mean, shit, theoretically, that is final thoughts, to be honest with you, but the YouTube rant part, just contradicting himself and shit. He wants his ad revenue as much as he can because, let's be honest, the tips and contributions are weighing. He just admitted that. So he's just as interested and just has just as much at stake as those other people do. He's not unique. He's not different. He's in the same fucking boat. Him stressing out over the DSP tries this was pretty interesting. To be honest with you, like I said, that needs to be a whole segment in itself. And then I should definitely turn that into a YouTube short. For real, for real. I should definitely do that. That was fascinating. And that was absolutely fascinating. And just the and then him trying to push back on the you guys aren't paying me $1,500 to eat food. You're not paying me $1,500, I'm sorry, to eat Taco Bell. That's just a negative spin. That isn't a negative spin. That's the truth. 10 goals at $150 a goal is $1,500. End of story. You can be mad all you want about that, but it's the truth. No one's gaslighting you into that situation. That's just not made up. It's a real thing. So fascinating stuff. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner than later. Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report. This is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, GTG Network and Productions. For Tim Snorton's Hard Snorts Gin and Tonic, SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company, and everybody here at GTG Network and Productions, as well as all of our other subsidiaries and affiliates, I've been your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. At the very end, the whole begging for people to stay and shit, to not abandon him and leave him, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss, especially after that spur out he had over the DSP triceps. Take care of yourselves, people. Just take care of yourselves, people. Later.